Morning, Jim. Just taking my pills. I just got to take my daily vitamins that the doctor ordered. Tell you what, I just I get sick and tired of going through the dropsies, dropping this and dropping that. Hoping a couple of people join me here shortly. Because the Paul Tregurtha is upbound. I would like to kind of get it. I got a ship early this morning. And then I went out and I mowed the backyard because the rain is supposed to arrive here about 10 or 11 o'clock. And just working around different things. So what are you up to, Jim? Are you feeling any better? How's the leg and back pain doing? Can fix stuff. Hey, how you doing? JDS. Yeah, good morning to you too, JDS. Jim actually was first, but you were in the upper two, one or two. Yep, that's right, Jim. That's my goal is to get a few things done. And I'm looking out here now and I'm trying to figure out, is it starting to rain a little bit now? Hang on, let me check. Yeah, it looks a little bit damp out there right now, but who knows? I don't know. In fact, the pavement down here by the water looks a little bit damp as well, but don't know. Couldn't tell you. Boone's out running the backyard. Oh my. So I got my screen up so the sun's not going to come in and reflect off the monitors, and I think we're good to go. So all we can do, Jim, is hang in every day. This is the ship I'm tracking right now. That's the Paul R. Tregurtha. It's almost to the Black River. Hey, if I get up and leave all of a sudden, everybody, because I don't have any co-hosts on here, um, please explain to them that I will be back, and all they'll be able to see is the screen here. Trying to call Justin to see if he'll cover. No answer.
Sorry, but the person you called.
I'm getting ready to go. Everybody. Okay, Jim, I expect, hopefully you guys can kind of cover it. You can't, the join the panel thing is up there. They could probably join the panel. Let me turn off the waiting room. That'll help. They should be able to just come right onto the panel now. Okay, I shall return. Yeah, it's making the turn at the Black River.
British, 7 Portuguese, 1 Canadian. Don't know a whole lot about the people who were on the ground, but they apparently got injured, being taken to local hospitals, bringing every detail we can as we get it. Right now, it's great to see our partners, correspondent Greg Palcott, Ian and London, getting as many details over there as he can. What can you tell us?
Good morning, empty chair. Justin must be in here. Someone's got to be in here. Someone let me in. I flew in the sim last night, first time in about a week or so. And anytime I stop flying in the sim, it takes me an hour to get used to it again. But I flew as low as I've ever flown. Usually I'm up about 200 feet because I'm so bad. And but I was able to fly through a couple warehouses, kind of skimming the ground a little bit, but I'm definitely not perfect. I don't know how those that fly them for real do it so good. My gosh, I don't know that I could ever do that in real life. But in fact, I don't even have a controller for my Avata 2 to fly FPV. I saw one online for 185. I just don't know that I would fly enough for that to pan out. And I've got a buddy that has one. I think he has the FPV one for the Avata 2. He says he'll loan it to me, but he hasn't taken the spring out or loosened the spring on the left controller. So I don't know if he'll let me do that or because he may fly it with the sticks just in normal and sport mode, so I don't want to screw him up. I'll have to ask him when he loans it to me. I don't know if you can retighten it or whatever you do to get that stick to do what it does. So when I give it back to him, it's back to normal. So I don't know. Do you take a spring out? Do you just loosen something? Something I'll have to investigate once I run into him, because I haven't seen him for a couple of months. I'm flying with another buddy this morning, and I may fly at the high school, at the stadium high school, the castle. Some of you have seen some of my flights at the castle. I've flown with a couple of friends of mine. The guy that teaches there, Angel Planels, has flown with me at Stadium High School. But I might do that, or I might go to Captain Ray's secret spot, which is the Fish Peddler in Tacoma, Washington. So if anyone wants to look up on Google where the Fish Peddler is, that's my #1 secret spot, right on the Thea Foss waterway. I want to fly through their establishment. I'm gonna knock on their door someday and say, hey, you want any footage? And it's not a big place, but I could fly in and out and over the water and do something fun. Maybe barter with them. Or not, right? Okay, come on, there we go, green light. So somebody let me in, and I don't know who. When I logged on, I just saw Paul's empty chair, so I figured I wasn't going to get in, but then I thought, well, maybe someone that isn't on the panel, like Justin doesn't usually show his image. Maybe Justin let me in, but do you guys want me to sing to you? I don't see the chat, so good morning, everyone. Good morning, Brenda. Good morning, Jim. Good morning, the regulars, right? I can sing to you. Do you guys know the song Cover of the Rolling Stone by Dr. Hook and the Medicine Show? If you do, sing along with me. Here we go. And a 1, and a 2. Oh, I better not. I'll chase everyone off. But I've got almost all of my yearbooks handed out. I think I have 12 left. And about 5 of those are what we call running start students who are part of my high school but don't attend. They attend the college, the local community college. They get college credit, and they'll graduate from college 2 years early, but they're still part of our program. And so they attend the college for 5 of their 6 classes, and their 6th class they attend at my school, and they're called Running Start Kids. And so they're not normally in our building, and some of them don't have to take a 6th period. Oh, someone's trying to get in. I don't know if I can let them in. So they don't have to take that 6th period, but they can. In fact, I've got a couple of my yearbook kids. That's all they do is they take the yearbook class, and that's the only class they have. So I don't see the chat. I don't know if you guys can even hear me. I just see Paul's empty chair.
I'm trying to come in.
Oh, Captain Joe, I hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
You're in. How'd you get in?
I came straight in. Did he leave it open?
Well, when I joined, I get the normal, screen that he makes somebody accept you. And then when you just now tried to join it rang a bell, and so I figure someone had to let you in, but maybe not. I don't know. I don't know it well enough. So Joe, next time we do Uncraft, I'll invite you.
Okay.
You need to get in on the Quad Mafia. Do you have Discord?
I think I do.
I don't know Discord well enough to know anything, but I'm on their Discord. So if you have it and you know anything about it, you can probably find them on Discord.
I'm gonna kill my video because it looks better with Paul's empty chair.
Yeah. Yeah.
Doing it.
So yeah, then next time we get in, I'll let you know. And you can fly. You know, I was flying with Joe and Josh, and there was 2 other guys. I didn't recognize them, so there was up to 5 of us in at one time. But I was flying and picking my golf. I had my golf picks last night for the U.S. Open, so I had to do that with my 5 buddies that I play with. I was multitasking, trying to eat dinner and the whole ball of wax. I'm going to go fly either the Avata 2 or I'm going to go fly the Mavic 3 this morning. It's kind of cloudy. It's not a really beautiful day in the Pacific Northwest. You wouldn't want to move here if you saw the weather today. So it's best my camera isn't working.
Well, I shot volleyball last night. I had to do it was like a tournament type thing. They go out and it's not really for anything. They just play a bunch of games. And I walked in and I usually wear my press stuff, my shirt that says all the stuff on it and everything. And it's like I bought it a 3X because I always wore a 2X. So it's real. I've been taking them in to make them fit better. And since I've lost that extra 30 pounds. So last night, instead of grabbing one of those, I just grabbed a Henley that's an extra large and stuck it on so it kind of fit me tight. So I go walking in there and I go walk around where the coaches are. And one of the girls turns around and she goes, "Damn, Mr. Joe, you looking good." I turned around because I heard it and it was one of the girls, right? Turned around and looked. Yeah. It was one that graduated. And I said, "Well, you graduated, right?" I said, "Okay, you can tell me that." And about that time, the 2 coaches turn around and one of them, they're pretty hot, both of the coaches. They turn around and say, "Damn, Joe, are you all right? You looking good." Like that. I said, "Yeah, I'm just losing weight." And then I look over, the whole volleyball team looking at me and they said, "You looking good, Mr. Joe." I said, "Oh, Lord help me, I'm in trouble." I even went out to the football field last night, and the trainer girls were telling me the same thing, and the coaches were telling me how good I looked. They said, "How much weight have you lost?" I said, 30 more. They said, one of them said that when I walked across the field, she didn't even recognize me.
Wow.
So I must be, I can see the difference in my face, in my neck and all of that.
Yeah.
Well, I can see a lot of that's changed. Now I got to get to the 20th when all the freshman moms come out, all the new ones, you know.
There you go.
That's what I'm waiting for. Let them tell me I look good. Have to carry me a stick so I can beat them off.
There you go.
But I had the girls we were shooting last night. My editor was there and he walked up and said, "I need a picture of that girl. I need a picture of that girl. I need a picture of that girl." And I had this one big girl. And I mean, she was right on the net. And it was in a gym, instead of having one net set up, they had two set up. So I'm too close, really close. It's hard to shoot. You can get them every once in a while. You got to really be paying attention and focusing on them. And hopefully you see them make a motion towards the ball. and then you listen for the hit. As soon as you hear the hit, you press the button, and you usually got a good shot. So this one girl kept going up, and it was so hard to try to get her picture. And I've got the most beautiful shot of her up in the air with her eyes looking up and her hands getting ready to come up to hit the ball, but there's no ball, right? So I shot another shot. It was okay, but the ball's there. And I looked at Joe and he said, "Did you get a good one?" I said, "I will have a good one when I get home." He said, "What do you mean?" I said, "You like that one where she's looking at the ball, right?" She goes, there wasn't a ball." I said, "Yes, there was. You'll see it."
Yeah, yeah, I'll put that ball in there.
So I put that ball in that one picture.
Yep.
And they have another one that she had a signature deal where she come up to do a slam and she always brought her arm out to the side and then slammed it back. And I caught her doing that without the ball too. But then I got her with a couple of really good ones. And I looked at all of them and I stuck a ball in there too, just in case he want that one. So I used two of those. But it was because I was like 3 feet from these people. It was crazy. But I got out of there. I was out of there early. I thought I was gonna be stuck there at about 8:30.
Yeah.
Because it was till like 9 o'clock last night. It started at 3. And I got home at 6 o'clock. I had everything he needed. So does he need me anymore? He said, no. I said, I'm going. I left. I figured that was long enough.
Yeah.
Now let me tell you, I got 10 minutes left on this print that I started last night at 9 o'clock. Okay, 7 hour print. It's a roof for the birdhouse. So this morning I hear the printer stop and everything. So I'm good. I come up here and the print head is right on the piece of roof, not where it's supposed to be. I looked over, I said, "Oh shit, what happened?" I go over and I look at it, and I've got a note on there that says, your print doesn't seem to be finished. Do you want to continue?" So it's got an hour left. So I press the button and it starts up again, heats up and starts up again, right? So I'm down to 10 minutes now. So I'm looking at it and I'm trying to figure out why did they do this? When I went on the computers, I must have had a power surge last night and kicked it off. So when it turned off, it still saved the file without losing it. Well, I'm so glad.
Yeah, because you'd hate to have to start it over.
Oh, it was a 7 hour file, and and one of them messed up yesterday. The filament jammed on the spool. Sometimes you'll get it when you're coming through when they wind it. Sometimes they'll have a knot in it. Not often, but you do. And the printer's supposed to, when it feels it jam, supposed to stop and tell you have a jam. It didn't do it. It just kept printing, and it's not printing anywhere. So you're done. You know.
Yep.
So I threw away one yesterday it was going to be good landfill. It was 3/4 of the top of the roof. Threw it away. And I need to get this one finished because my son's bringing stuff over this morning, and this is the one I'm sending to my the son in North Carolina. So I got 8 minutes. Then that'll be finished for him. So is Paul only doing one boat today, or you got to know?
What's that?
Is Paul only doing one boat today, or was it?
Or
do we even know?
I don't even know. I came into an empty chair.
Yep.
So he had already, he must have just started it, and I don't know. Like I said, I don't know how I got in, but he must not have it locked.
I'm gonna get on him about that too.
Could be scary.
Oh, it is gonna be scary
because no one's here to shut it down if one of those clowns want to go in and do what they did a while back.
Well, I'll just, there you go. It follows back.
Welcome to Studio B, Paul.
How you doing?
Good. We're getting ready to change the set design. We're gonna put a human. We're gonna put a human in that chair of yours here pretty quick.
Oh, you think I ought to buy one of those human robots?
No, he's gonna have gray hair, glasses, a blue shirt, and mustache and beard. Is that Marcus?
It is.
Good morning, Mark.
Morning, Lance. Joe.
So I picked Rory as my my top dog. I don't. He was. I picked third, and of course the first guy picked Scotty.
Jeff
Second guy picked DeStambo, and so the top guy left was Rory. So I picked him. I don't think he's going to win it, but
No, I don't think he's either.
but I don't think
I don't
either
think
of those.
I
Either
don't
of those
think he's
three are gonna
worried
win.
about winning it. That's the thing now.
Yeah, I agree. It's
I'll
kind
tell
of
you, there's a few good ones coming up. I mean, that Nick Taylor.
Oh, don't tell me that. My buddy picked Taylor, and we all razzed him about that. We said, who? Because he's like 170th of a chance to win it or something like that. So we just flipped him.
Yeah, but he won, I think it was 2 weeks ago, and came second in another one.
Okay. See, I say Griffin and Stepp are the two that might do well.
Griffin, yeah, he did well recently as well, didn't he?
Griffin is having a great season.
Yeah.
And let's see who else. I picked the H brothers, Hovland and Hatton.
Yeah,
Hey, Paul,
Tyrrell Hatton,
make me a co-host.
Victor
Okay.
Hovland.
Make you a co-host. I'll make Mark a co-host.
I think Maury Coward did quite well recently
And
as
I'll
well.
make Lance a co-host.
Now, Paul, I just want to say something. If you're gonna leave and leave that chair and you're gonna leave the show, lock the room. Don't let us in. We don't need to be in, because if somebody got in here, nobody could stop them, and you're gonna lose your channel. Because it'll be on for as long as somebody boots them off. And I guarantee you would lose your channel.
We'll think about that.
Well, I guess you don't want your channel.
There's only co-hosts can stop it from going, and if you're not
And if
there,
you have that room wide open, they get
Then
in here,
nobody do anything.
they can put 50 screens on. And YouTube will take you down, and you're not getting back on.
Why is that beeping?
If you gotta go, all you gotta do, right, I'm going to catch a ship. We know you're catching a ship. Just leave it on. But lock the room.
either that or just don't start it at all, and we'll wait
Yep.
until you get back. We'll still be here.
What's the deal with my batteries?
If you put enable waiting room, somebody's got to let them in. And they just won't get in, you know?
Well, I thought I had the waiting room enabled.
Well, you didn't.
It says enabled now.
Otherwise,
I-
we won't be able to get in.
Well, it says enable waiting room, unless he just changed it.
No, I didn't touch that.
Because the Lance heard a sound when I came in. So what I would do is if you're leaving, go to the bottom and say lock meeting. And that's when you're leaving, if nobody's here. Because you don't get a second chance, Paul. I'll tell you. You will not get a second chance. They'll say, well, why'd you leave it open?
Why isn't it connected?
Wonder where Dominic is this morning.
He's
In
never
bed.
here in the morning.
For Dominic, it's late night.
That's right. Jonathan is joining.
What's up, family?
Hey, Jonathan.
Paul, your door's still wide open, man. I just walked in here. Here's what you do, Paul. You see that chair you sitting in?
Yep.
It used to be a smiley face on the back of it, right? You put that smiley face back. So when you leaving, you spin it around. That way we know you're there, even though you ain't there.
But I wasn't here.
Right. But the smiley face will let us know you'll be back.
Yeah, not that you just fell off the chair and you're on the floor.
Sarah Stickley says, good morning.
Sarah,
Morning,
smile.
Sarah.
And Sarah, your lazy ass husband isn't out of bed yet.
Good morning, Brenda. Good morning.
Morning, everybody in the chat. Mark,
Hey, Jonathan.
where's Precious?
She's lying on the sofa next to me, but she's not doing too well.
What's the
Really?
matter?
It's getting worse?
She's lost quite a bit of weight and she's struggling with her breathing now.
How old is she, Mark?
13 and a half.
Ah,
You never had any puppies?
Not that I know of, no. She was adopted by somebody down on the south coast in Southampton when she was a puppy, and they kept her right the way through until 2000 and when would it have been when I got about 19, I think it was, and I've had her since then because the family moved up here and split up and couldn't keep the dog at either of the places that they went to. So they put her back in for adoption.
Sarah went for a stress test this morning and said that Justin was still asleep in bed.
Mm-hmm.
Probably was on Fortnite last night.
Could be it was a late night for him doing something, or he's not feeling well.
Yeah, I believe they got a new map because I wanted to turn on the Xbox. I hadn't played it since last year. I wanted to turn on the Xbox. I had to do the 2-hour update for Fortnite. So they got a new map
Oh yeah,
and got
yeah. They had a Star Wars one all over May and into June, and they just given that its own map and
Good
put a
morning,
new one on
Jason.
apparently.
anytime new map comes out, everybody tries to get their stats up real quick.
Mm.
A lot of guys fishing on the pier today.
Now you got school what through the end of the week or next week?
Next week, I still have, but I only have 12 yearbooks left to hand out, which is good. I'm glad about that. It's probably the fastest I've ever handed them out. But my office lady's still selling them, which is good.
Jason, are you at work or not going today or what?
Who that?
Jason Laverius.
Jason and I have
So you
something in
check.
common.
You do?
Yeah.
First name.
How did you know, Mark?
Well, let me think now.
And you probably know what tomorrow is too, I'm guessing.
Pizza Day.
Man, you should go on like Jeopardy or something.
Yeah. What is Pizza Day?
Wait, what's
Yeah.
today?
Friday.
Oh yeah, tomorrow is pizza. Thought I was the only one who did that.
No, Lance is big on pizza day.
Yeah, Friday is always pizza day for me.
Yeah, Lance never misses a pizza day. He reminds everybody that tomorrow is pizza day.
Lance, you tried that new what is that sauce? The wait a minute, hold on, I'll be right back. The Alfredo sauce pizza.
What kind of pizza?
Alfredo sauce.
Oh, I love
Alfredo's.
Alfredo and chicken, barbecued chicken.
Man, that thing is the bomb.
It is, but it's so bad for you. My wife will not let me eat it.
Why is it bad for you?
Well, Alfredo sauce is just not healthy.
I'd get a new wife.
All the butter and yeah, my wife is sometimes too crazy about that. She's a health nut.
Mm.
But I love Alfredo sauce. Anything I like, I know it's not good for me. A successful flight. Gotta go get the drone and be right back.
Paul, what ship you catch this morning?
Well, let's see. The first thing I got was the Northern Venture, which was a self-unloading cement carrier. And now I just got back from doing the Paul R. Tagurtha, which is the largest ship on the Great Lakes.
Ooh, nice.
Ain't bad for you.
Yeah.
Let me see the shit. Anybody seen the birthday boy lately?
TJ?
Yeah.
No,
was
that was yesterday. I don't know.
Wondering what he did for his
We
birthday.
have to come back, guys. My car's not picking us up. Hold on.
It worked.
Oh, you worked on his birthday?
Yeah. And then
Sure, something
him and his wife went to
bowling, wasn't it?
a meal.
Think.
I think he was talking about going to Olive Garden.
Olive Garden.
Mm.
Not bad, not bad.
Somebody wants
Should be
in.
back.
Yeah, it's Lance
let him
coming
back
back
in.
again.
Backlash?
I'm back. So Jonathan, that was a hilarious video of the gal that thought she lost her phone. Ah,
I was dying laughing.
yeah. And so it reminded me, because it just happened to me, but not my phone, my reading glasses. And I had them on top of my head. And I'm talking to my kids. I said, and my kid wanted me, one of the students wanted me to look at their image on their computer, and I can't, I've got to go get my glasses to see it. So I said, I'll be right back. I'm going to go grab my glasses,
Right.
thinking they're on my desk. And I'm looking around, and the kids are, Mr. Cadena, your glasses are on your head. It's time to retire. Time to retire.
I was thinking the same thing. Time to retire.
Which I am probably 90% leaning in one more year. So I'll do everything one last time. I'll have one last Christmas break. I'll have one last Thanksgiving.
One last
Right.
hurrah, huh?
One last hurrah. I think 44 years will be enough.
Yeah.
But just think what a pain in the backside that last year's going to be.
Oh no. Because
Training,
I know
training somebody to do the yearbooks.
yeah, that'll be my outgoing pain in my side. But take every Friday off, maybe, huh? What do you think?
Mm.
There's 180 school days. I have 180 sick days. So if I took every Friday off, I would still have 100 days left.
Conco.
And then we get 25 cents on the dollar when we sell our sick leave back. So whatever I have left on the books, I'll get a quarter a day. All right.
You got 180 days of school and 180 sick leave days?
Yep.
Yeah, I'd be sick every day for the last year.
Yeah. After 5 days, they require a doctor's note, so I have to buddy up with my doctor.
Uh,
But my back has really been bothering me lately.
oh yeah,
Been
I
going
want to
to
use some of that.
been going to a masseuse for about 6 months now. It's not getting any better.
That's a good excuse for that.
Wait. You been going to a masseuse?
Yeah,
Yeah, the back's a good
Female?
excuse.
this gal could arm wrestle any one of us, probably all of us, take us down.
Lance,
She's built like a lumberjack, but
you
not.
going to a
not-
masseuse
not
and it's
She's not heavier. She's just
listen, you going to
solid.
masseuse and it's a female? What she look like?
Yeah. She's a cutie pie. She's about
What-
45.
And
but
that's why your back ain't getting no better.
just stronger than all get out. She also massages my daughter. I'm trying to talk my wife into using her medical to go in and see the gal because she's good. Seriously, the first time I went to her after I walked out, I said that is the best massage I have ever had, and I've been going to this company now since 2016, off and on, and it was the best massage I had ever gotten, and so I go back to her every time now. And
Nice.
I only started going to her since Christmas. I had another one that left the company who I thought was fairly good, but she left and they gave me this gal. And this gal's the head masseuse of the company. It's not one with tinted windows on the street corner either, guys. It's a legit doctor's. But yeah, she's got arms the size of, she could arm wrestle all of us at one time and beat us. She's a kickboxer too.
Is she Russian?
No, I don't think so. No.
No,
Her daughter just got married last weekend, and her son graduates this week.
Russian women are naturally strong.
What happens to your medical when you retire? Do all of a sudden they stop paying for these massages?
That's a good question, Mark. I don't know if Medicare is going to cover that or not. That's a great question.
We'll find out. What you got there, Joe?
I need to ask.
Bird out.
In fact, there's a couple of people retiring in a couple of weeks. I'm going to ask them if they know anything about that. Thanks, Mark.
Yeah, I'm saying
If
that
not,
to
I'll
my
have to
son in North Carolina.
If not, I'll have to go another year. Just for my massages. Thanks, Mark.
Well, we can't have you having to give up golf.
There you go. Exactly. And that's what my doctor told me. When I had my back operation and they fused my vertebrae together in 2015, I asked my doctor, I said, what's this going to do to my golf game? Can I still play? They said, you can. He said, but just know, eventually you're going to be back in here getting an operation if you play golf. It's not if, it's when. But my backswing now is half of what it was.
So
Just my operation.
John Rahm style.
Yeah. I don't have a big backswing any longer. But I was never really good at golf. I enjoyed it.
Mm.
I think my best round ever was in '81, back when I was in my late 20s, and I played 3 times a week.
Yeah. And my best
Now,
round 76.
yeah, that's good. That's almost par.
Yeah, we're past 70-hour course.
Yeah. And we have all courses, I play on anywhere from a 70 to a 72 par. I don't know that I've ever played a par 73. I may have.
Yeah, I think there are some, not many, but yeah. I've played all the way down to past 68. Yeah. I watched another episode of Reacher before I came on here. Good series.
About who is funding these insurrectionists and these fighters and these.
So I think I got 3 fishermen this morning.
Okay, so here's a question.
And Paul,
Here's a question. Let's say you got to send something to DJI to get fixed, right?
Uh-huh.
Are they going to charge you a tariff to get it back?
Should not.
Well, if it's a free
Big question,
repair,
ain't it, Joe?
if it's a
Say
free
again,
repair,
Mark.
it doesn't matter because the tariff on nothing is nothing.
Yeah, I mean, when you're talking about the repair, mind you, if you got to send it to China, and they got to send it back, it's got to come back to customs. So are you going to get charged a tariff to get it back?
Yeah, but the tariff is a percentage of the cost, and if there is no cost involved, then they can't put a tariff on it.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Tariff goes according to the purchase, to the amount.
and I would think if it never left the country, if it stays in the country, you wouldn't be charged, I would think.
Yeah, because the odds are it'll go to California or Texas.
Well, California's out of the country, according to some of you guys.
I think Texas is trying for its own country as well, isn't it?
Probably.
California, definitely. Why do you think they deployed the Marines? A different country.
Oh, they could have sent the CIA in then.
They sent the war dogs. 2-7.
Okay, at the rock pile. Looks like I am number 1 in the parking lot.
But we can still calling you Fred, right?
Yep. And Barney's going to park right next to me.
Yabba dabba do.
Oh, I see Betty.
Well, that's terrible about that airplane crash in India.
Oh, I know. 200 and some odd people.
220 people on board.
Yeah, that's terrible.
What it was, a crash
I
in
didn't
India?
even hear about it.
Yeah, it was a 747.
This morning, I think.
Yep. It crashed into a major city.
Crashed into the city?
Yep.
God.
It's a mess.
Pilot should have knew better than that.
Ahmedabad, India. Fox is going to show it next on there, Joe.
Well, that's what happens when you got to dodge a cow when you're landing.
Dodge a cloud.
Well, it was headed for Great Britain.
A cow, they say.
It had just taken off and it was only at 600 feet.
Wow.
And
Oh, I'm about to tell you,
both,
it took off
both
from
the
there.
engines quit at the same time.
It was a 747 and it only had 200 people on it. I don't believe that.
That might have. Wait a minute. Took off from India, 600 feet. Both engines stopped working
Yeah, just stopped.
at the same time. Power outage. Power outage on the plane.
The pilot's driving and he says, "What's this key for?" And turn it.
And he brings it down in the city.
He didn't really have an option if he was only just taking off.
Yeah, 600 feet. Yeah.
I used to live. I used to live in the airport by Kenner, Louisiana, when I was in the Marines back in the 80s. And it was like 1980. And they had like I was in the path of the runway. You could see him a block, not even a block, coming in by the tree. That was the path they come in. And you'd watch them skim the top of the tree every day. So we're in Hawaii. We moved to Hawaii, and my mom and everybody was coming out, and they were leaving in about a week, and they had a major air crash in New Orleans, and they said the plane was taken off, lost altitude, and crashed into Kenner. And I'm listening to it, and they said that it got to like 150 feet and then it crashed. And I looked at my wife and I said, if it didn't hit where we lived, it hit right by where we lived. And she goes, how can you figure that out? I said, if it's only 100 feet up in the air, it's coming right back down. The arc is going to bring it down right here. It hit 6 houses from where we lived and took a whole block out. Took a whole block out, whole city block out. One little girl got killed, right? These 2 girls got killed, right? These 2 young girls. And what happened was they were out of school. One was at her house across the street, and the other one was at her house. They were across the street from each other. She asked her dad, "Can I go over and play with her?" "Yeah, go ahead." She went over there and took that house out. The dad was fine, took the house out with the girl. 2 girls. Now that sucks. I know that dad saying, "I told her she can go."
Yeah, he blames himself, I'm sure.
You can't blame yourself for something like that. You had
You can't,
no idea, no control. And
you can't.
You wouldn't even think that a plane is literally about to fall on your damn house.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to spend the rest of the day in the back garden just in case.
Yeah. Won't make much difference when that fuel's
what are the odds? What are the odds of you opening your door after hearing this loud ass sound, opening your door and see a plane sitting on top of a house across the street from you?
Yeah. No, there was no house there. The whole thing was gone.
Yeah. I must
admit. Right. That's what I'm saying. That you literally open your door and be in misbelief, like, wait a minute, I must be dreaming. Like this ain't even possible.
I think it took about 15 miles from our airport in a straight line.
The ironic part about it was the plane going to Las Vegas, right? And it was like 200 something people on it. And when the first responders got it, I knew a couple people that were first responders at the time. They said they went out there and they said the seats were intact, bodies were laying all over the place. And they said And the biggest thing that they noticed that the people that were like, if you found a wallet that was loose, it was full of cash. They
Yeah.
said the police had to cordon off that whole area, and they had to make sure nobody went in there to loot because they knew there was a lot of cash there. And I can't remember the total when they finally got everything together. It was a crazy amount of cash that they got off of these people that they were able to save. You know.
This is a drill. The lockdown has been cleared. Please resume normal activities. This is a drill. The lockdown has been cleared. Please resume normal activities. This is a drill. The lockdown has been cleared. Please resume.
Ain't that typical? I can't
That shit.
I can't get Precious to eat the dog food, but my bacon, sausage, eggs, not a problem. She'll eat that.
Oh, she don't want the dog food. She wants your food.
Yeah.
Oh, you cook or something?
She does that. Half a bacon and egg sandwich, 2 sausages,
She want the good stuff.
and a piece of spam. Fried spam. You enjoyed that, doggy? Yeah. Well, at least you're eating something. That's better than not eating at all. Isn't it?
Yeah, but there's just shit. I'm tired of eating these little kibbles and bits. Let me get some of them eggs and sausage.
Yeah, that's it.
I'm so glad they got that safety feature in this printer because I had an hour left. I was about to write here when the power went out last night,
Want some black
and I didn't
pudding?
even know
Oh,
it went out.
go on then. Have some black pudding. Yeah. Black pudding went as well.
I got up this morning and the printer was sitting still, and the note on it said, "Your print seems not to have finished. Would you like to continue?" And it went right back to where it started, where it left off at. It was right there.
Lockdown. This is a lockdown. This is a lockdown. This is a lockdown.
Is that
Man,
lunch school?
no.
School's gone on lockdown.
Lance over there pulling alarms.
Mm.
Box.
Kids aren't there yet. Never mind anything else. What's it? Fine. Maybe it's 9 o'clock in the morning where he is. No, it's not. 15 plus 8 is 7 o'clock in the morning.
Where is
Only have a lockdown.
It's 10 o'clock where I'm at.
7 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, 7 o'clock in the morning. It's a drill. We're having a drill this afternoon, so they're testing the
They're
system
testing right. They're having the drill for the drill. Right.
now. The drill for the drill. Because we'll have the local police here today, so they want it to go smooth.
Okay, let's see here.
Be right back, guys.
Oh, wait a minute. Yeah. Tomorrow's Friday the 13th.
Friday the 13th. Yep.
It certainly is.
Yeah. I'm not going outside tomorrow.
You're not gonna.
Yeah.
But do you feel like the sword of Damocles is hovering over your head all the time?
Listen, I'm a 70s babies. Y'all know the stories we done heard.
He's gonna
Yeah.
sit
The
in his
story, the
lounge,
stories, and
looking out the window that faces towards the airport, keeping an eye out.
well, we already got stuff happening that we see in the movies. Planes falling out the sky.
Yeah.
Strange creatures we never seen before.
Well, if you want to see strange things, you just go to YouTube.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah. Yeah, speaking of strange creatures that we've never seen before, I believe Warren came on one of the live shows the other night.
Who was that?
Warren
Warren was on the live show.
Akirasho.
He's a strange creature.
Well, nobody ever sees him. He never comes on any. He's always chatting, but I don't think he's been on anybody's show. And I can't remember which one it was he came on now.
Unbox. Change for TS.
Also, I heard whether there was truth in that rumor, I'm not sure.
Our numbers have dropped down to 10 now watching us.
Don't worry about it. It will up and down. There was people came in yesterday after you'd gone to do that last ship that hadn't been on for 2 hours and still came on.
Yeah, Jim says he's never been on anybody's panel either.
Who hasn't, Jim?
Yeah.
Why
Well,
not, Jim?
it's about time. Get on, Jim.
Not Jim's droning. Jim.
Come say hello, Jim.
Big bad Jim. I guess that was
Lean.
Big Bad Jim, wasn't it?
It's a good course.
Why have we got another notification from DJI? What they try to sell us now?
Mavic 4.
talking about the Matrice 40.
Hey, Jonathan, do you have buyer's remorse or you still like your 4?
Who?
Your Mavic 4.
No. Unlock
Oh, what about it?
You have buyer's remorse or do you still like it?
Oh no, I don't have no remorse at all. I don't have no remorse.
No,
It
it's
kind
up.
of
Unlock
it kind of remind me
15%.
of a souped up car. You know, back in the day, we used to soup up cars and they shake.
Mhm.
Yeah, the back end when it starts up and the propeller starts, the back end kind of gives you that little wiggle. I
Little
thought it
wiggle.
was just mine. Yeah, I thought it was just mine, but then I heard everybody else talking about it. I was like, okay, because I was about to send this thing back. But yeah, she gives you that little wiggle, and when you
That's the
put it up in
talk.
the air, yeah, when you put it up in the air, man, listen. Remember that commercial used to go? Now you're playing with power.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, that's the feeling you get.
No, DJI are now
So
giving
you're glad you bought it?
15% off the Mini 4K and 10% off the Avata 2.
Oh yeah, definitely. Because I was always gonna get a flagship. Mind you, I got my mini. You know, I love my mids. You know, I love the Air series. So I always said, you know, I'm gonna have to get a flagship so that way I cover all 3 tiers. So yeah, I'm feeling this. I'm loving it. All that spin gimbal business they've been doing, I ain't even touched that. And yeah, I didn't buy it for that. So I ain't even touched that thing. I couldn't even tell you how to do that. But the imagery, the photos, the videos, man, it is beautiful. Yeah, she's like a brand new baby. I'll keep her out my sight. I'm looking at her as we speak.
You want to keep a good relationship with her?
Oh, I keep a good relationship with all my birds.
That's good.
Now, Freewell, Freewell is finally shipping out the ND filters, right?
Oh, yeah, you said that. They
Yeah.
want the
Now,
tariff on top.
when I first ordered them, they didn't have it on the pre-order. They had it as if they had them. And mind you, normally when you do a pre-order, they take $1 until shipping, and then they'll take the money off your card, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but when I paid for it, I paid full price right then and there because I knew it didn't say nothing about pre-order. It said they had them. But now they just hit me 2 days ago saying, oh, we're about to start shipping and you might have to pay a tariff or you can just pay us a $98 flat fee. I said, what? I said, hold up. These ND filters only cost $149. You think you're going to charge me $98 for you to ship me something that costs $149? I said, your math don't add up. So here's what we're going to do. You can go ahead and refund me my money.
Yeah. Your order didn't say made by a sucker, you know?
Mm-hmm. You want to charge? No, see, here's where they math didn't add up. When I paid the tariff for the Mavic 4 Pro, I paid $247.98 on a purchase that cost me $2,700, right?
Right.
So now, how you gonna charge me $98 on the purchase? That's $149. Lance, does that add up? Let's talk to the teacher about this one.
I don't know. Lance is working on his yearbooks, I think.
Yeah, he's working. He's working. Yeah, them numbers don't add up at all.
No.
Would you
So
say
you just
someone talking to me?
gonna put my money.
Yeah, we're talking to you.
You talking to me?
We're talking to you.
Yeah,
What'd
we
you ask
talking to
him?
you. But you working, so go on. You gonna do your work, man. You're on the job. You're on the clock.
No, I'm not on the clock for another 15 minutes.
Oh, okay. All right. Riddle me this. If you paid a $247 tariff on a 2,700 change purchase, would you turn around and pay would you turn around and pay a $98 tariff on a $149 purchase?
Ooh.
Right.
It's the Freewell filters for the drone that he bought.
Yeah, no. Hey, here's a question I have. I thought that they were going to have built-in filters for the Mavic 4. Wasn't that one of the rumors and it never happened?
For built-in filters?
Yeah.
No. What they it's not a built-in, it's an automatic. It's an automatic filter. Yeah, it's an automatic filter. Once and see, that's why I told them go ahead and send my money back. Cause see, all they did was make me decide to wait for that. It's an automatic filter. But the problem with it was too heavy. That's why they couldn't put it out. It was too heavy. So
Okay,
they got to
so
redesign
it
it.
wasn't built into the actual camera. That's what I assumed. I didn't know. I mean, I don't know anything.
Yeah, in fact they got the power connections right there on the gimbal. If you take the front cover off, you'll see the power connections. But the one that they made was too heavy. It was literally giving the gimbal problems when they were testing it. They finally put it up what the problem was. So they have to redesign it.
Problems is I'm pissed off with them not because they don't do no. Yeah, I've tried to.
But the fact that they already got the setup, they're gonna make it. They're gonna make it to where, you know what I'm saying, they make something that works. So I'll wait for that.
Well, you paid. I can't.
You can adjust the aperture on Mavic 4 anyway, so you still got a way to work around that.
You sending those birdhouses to your son? Is that what you're doing, Joe?
Yeah, I'm making a care package to go to Nick.
Oh, Nick. Okay.
It's got the birdhouse. It's got one of the ducks. It's got a bunch of different things. It's got a challenge coin.
Who?
To my son in North Carolina.
His son in North Carolina.
No, what was the last thing you said that was in a
challenge coin?
The military.
Yeah, military 250th anniversary Marine Corps coin.
Mm-hmm.
His son's in the military. Just like Daddy was.
Yeah, it's one of these.
Wait a minute, I thought he was a cop.
That's the other one.
That's the other one. And he's not a cop right now. He's on the way to North Carolina to become a cop. Again.
Well, he was.
Yeah. So what his younger, his one son that is a cop, left his job and is driving right now to North Carolina.
Tomorrow.
And he's going to then stay at the other military.
My other son, he's gonna move in with him because he's getting ready to go on a 9-month deployment.
He's going out to sea for 9 months.
Oh, okay.
So the wife's coming back here.
One's gonna watch the house while the other one's getting deported.
And the wife's coming down here for the 6 to 9 months to go back to work where she was working. You know, and then gonna go back because she's gonna stay with her parents down here. That way she's not by herself. And Nick said, get your job, get your money together, get everything together, because when I come back, you getting out. He said, you get out when I come back, but you take care of it. He said, no, I'll pay the house note while you're there. All you pay is the electricity.
Utilities, yeah.
Utilities, yeah.
He said, you take care of the utilities and make sure the house is fine because he's gonna be there during winter time and everything.
Right. Yes, sounds like a good deal to me.
Yeah,
They
it's gonna
say
be a
you can
good deal.
save some money.
Because the wife that is living there now is moving back to her parents' house, which is near Joe, right?
Yeah, I said that.
Yeah, I know, but
Yeah, it's right up the road. I'm just wondering if you got the same internet we got. That's why I was wondering.
Joe. Well, I did find out. Remember, I having trouble yesterday with my internet. There was a problem, an issue with the internet.
Yeah, it was an issue with stream time.
Not only stream time, but the cable company was down the street working on cables. Well, look who woke up, Joe.
No, he's got rolled out of bed. He didn't wake up.
You know what? First thing I was most going to be, what's up?
Niggas up. Up.
Like that.
He must be having to gargle to get his voice to work.
No, his audio is
It says
jumping.
connecting to audio. He's having trouble with his internet. What do you think about this thing going on Saturday there, Jonathan?
What's that?
This No Kings Plan protest. It's showing a map, and it's like all over the United States.
The No Kings what?
Planned protest.
No Kings plan
it's being
for
funded. Yeah, it's all these people going to go out and protest what Trump's doing with ICE, and it's going to be all over the U.S. Telling you, don't F around and find out. He'll call martial law.
I guess I'll
If
be
it gets
flying
out
my
of
drone.
hand, he'll call martial law, and that's going to be bad.
That's quite a picture. They're showing the national map.
Yeah, the guy throw at the police officer. He throws a barricade at the police officer. He would have went to jail. Spit on a police officer. And
Is that from that
especially-
same clip I seen yesterday where the cop shot the reporter?
Yeah, that was shot in the leg.
I think that was the day before yesterday, wasn't it?
That was a couple days ago.
Yeah. Yesterday before yesterday, the cop shot, just turned and shot the reporter. They got him on camera.
She said, I think she screamed too. She was like, "Oh fuck," or something like that. They hit her with what? Do you see those rubber bullets? Those things are fucking huge.
Oh, that stuff is hurt.
That what he hit her with?
Yeah, it was a rubber bullet.
Yeah. Yeah, I tell you what, better watch the place you do this in because you got the stand your ground law. And if you're driving your car and somebody starts throwing shit at you and you run them over, guess what?
Oh, not California is not staying your ground, no.
No, I mean, no.
California, you can barely own a damn gun.
Well, they had a law in Sacramento that said that you could be charged by defending yourself. It was HR bill, something they were talking about it yesterday. And the sheriff of Sacramento came on and said they pulled that bill. So if you have to defend yourself, defend yourself.
Oh yeah, Florida passed that, like 2 years ago. If if your car was surrounded by protesters, you could when they start beating on your car, you have every legal right to run them over to get the fuck out of there. Because the reason Florida did that is because up in New York they prosecuted somebody for doing that.
Yep.
They were stuck in traffic that they blocked the freeway, and then they all surrounded their car, started beating the hell out of their car, and they ran them over trying to get away. I mean, that's somebody's natural reaction, in my opinion, is they're gonna hit the gas if 15 or 20 people are beating on their car trying to pull them out and shit, you know?
But you know what irks me more than anything?
Yeah.
Chuck Schumer got on there yesterday and he said, "Come Saturday, we're gonna mount up all over this nation and protest what Donald Trump is doing, and we need all y'all to come out, and we need y'all to resist." That's an insurrection.
Yeah.
That is the definition
That's
of insurrection.
inciting violence.
By inciting violence from a sitting politician. I'm telling you, you're
If I
gonna
was
F
Tom
around and
Holman, dude,
find
I'd go
out.
arrest his ass.
Well, they need to. They need to. I mean, they need to really, because it's not like all of them on in the same page. The Justice Department, FBI, and everything on the same page as Trump.
Well, it's ridiculous that politicians are calling for violence. It's stupid at the end of the day. Like that one politician that said he was going to dox all the ICE agents. That's actually illegal in a lot of states.
I know,
People.
that's what I'm saying. They need to start making, and then they're gonna say, "Well, you see, he's just doing this against all his political rivals." No, he's doing it because you're stupid asses. Y'all are breaking the law. It's gonna get bad.
No
I'm telling you,
politician
Saturday.
on either side should ever call for violence like that.
I told my son, stay on that interstate as much as you can when you're driving Saturday. Get off in North Carolina and go straight there. I said, if you see shit going on, the interstate's being blocked, go a different way. I said, you're not a cop right now. Get there first.
Yeah.
I wish he'd leave. I wish he'd leave tomorrow. Early. I wish he'd leave early and just get there tomorrow.
Before the weekend.
Yep. I really wish he would. But he's not. He's not leaving till 6 o'clock tonight. I'll be on for a few minutes. 6 o'clock tonight, we're gonna have a dinner for him.
I think I'm gonna DoorDash some food. I don't have the ability to get to the store right now.
I am so tired of waking up in the morning with my sinuses all blocked. It's ridiculous. This sinus shit I take don't work.
What can they do for you on that? Because I have the same problem.
You can go get it all. They got a thing where they can go in there and open everything up and stent it and everything. Stent it and blow it open. I'm about to go talk to someone. This is getting ridiculous.
What are you using for allergy?
Use Claritin. I got another one in me now. I just took. I was fine all day yesterday.
What is it? Your head? What do you have? A sinus headache?
No headache. It's just stuffed and running. I've been blowing my nose since 5 o'clock this morning. It's almost like a cold. Only thing it seems to work when this goes on like this is Alka-Seltzer Cold Plus. I'm trying not to take one. I'm gonna have to.
The Mango Moose Knuckle. What the hell is that?
So Justin, one thing good about my printer, and I didn't know this, somehow last night the electricity must have glitched because one of my Apple will turn off if you get a glitch, any kind of power surge. Because it's not hooked into the power bank. I tried to hook it into that other power bank, the second one I had, but I'm gonna have to buy a battery to change it out because it must be the battery bad. And so I'm gonna just wait and get another. I'm not gonna throw it away. I get a battery for $20. I just change the battery out, and then I'll use it plugged into that side, and it'll be plugged into the printer and that other computer. So I'll have another backup over there. But last night when I got up, I got a 7-hour 47. The roof of that birdhouse 747, right? I wake up and I come up here. I'm thinking it's finished because everything's quiet. The printer is on. And the print head is still sitting right against us. I said, what happened? It broke? And it's got a message on there. It doesn't seem like your print has completed. Would you like to continue? And I pressed it. It heated up and went right back to it. It showed me an hour and 9 minutes left. So it's
Oh,
saved
you
it,
didn't know
you
it had that?
No, I didn't know it had that. I thought if you lost
Yeah.
power, you lost it, you know?
No, some printers have that built in. I didn't know yours had that, but yeah.
Well, I'm so
That's
glad
why I
because
was telling
I
you yesterday
had that
to
much
get
to
it.
go.
Yeah, some printers will ask you to leave off from where you ended.
It did.
That's a good system to have in your printers, though.
Oh, I'm happy. Let's put it that way.
As long as the print isn't at a weak point in that area, you know what I'm saying? As long as
Right.
that doesn't cause a weak point, that's a good system to have.
Well, it could have been a bad thing.
Yeah, I take Claritin too. That's just fucking, that shit is expensive.
They got a brand you can get when you get on that healthcare insurance I'm on.
Uh-huh.
It's through Walmart. Walmart has. I'll show it to you. It's the exact same thing. It's called All Day Allergy. Who's the brand name?
What's up, Brenda?
Amazon.
Jim, how's
Through
it going?
Amazon. All Day Allergy through Amazon. And it's citrazine, the exact same thing. 10 milligrams, the exact same thing. 300 tablets. $14.
Well, see, where the difference between generic and name brand pills can be, after watching that documentary on the pharmaceutical industry, it's the patent on the delivery system of the pill. How well can the pill deliver the medicine to your body, right?
Well, it's
That's
exactly
what
the
they
same
patent.
thing. So, you know.
Right.
Good
That's
morning,
what I'm
Gitchy.
saying. That's the only difference between using a generic and a main brand medicine.
Well, even the citrazine I'd still wake up like this. I took another one, it's a different kind. I'm about to do an Alka-Seltzer cold plus. That'll at least stop it from running.
Oh man. Gitchy, what's up? Randy, how's it going? Captain, you need a vaporizer in your bedroom with some essential oils. uh, oh.
No, I need a woman to rub me down with vapor rub. That's what I need.
You'd benefit more from a man. He'd really be able to work it in there, you know? His big hands.
And Paul, if you take this out of context, I'm gonna leave. Just telling you. I'm gonna say this, and if you say it wrong, I'm gonna go. I went there last night and I get to the volleyball game and I walk in there and I hear this girl say, "Damn, Mr. Joe, you look good." I turned around and looked, and it was one that graduated. And I said, "Well, you graduated, right?" She goes, "Yeah." I said, "Well, I'll let you say that." And I said that, and the two coaches that are pretty good looking coaches, they turned around and they said, "You all right? You're not sick or nothing, right? Boy, you looking good." Like this. And I noticed behind them the whole volleyball team saying, "Mr. Joe looks good. Look at him." Like that, you know.
Well,
So I
that's
didn't
a
say nothing to
compliment.
them.
That's a compliment because they noticed you're losing weight.
Oh, I know, but don't say nothing about them girls. You know what I'm saying? Then I went out to the football field and the coaches were telling me that. They were saying,
Yeah.
"Damn, we didn't even recognize you walking across the field." Because I
That's
didn't wear
good.
my press stuff. I wore a Henley shirt that's a tight fitting, extra large shirt.
It's
So I'm
good
from a
people are
3X
noticing.
to a regular X.
That's got to make you feel good that people are noticing what
Oh,
you've
I'm
been
telling you.
working on.
But you can see it here.
Yep.
but I'm down. I'm hoping to go under 230 today.
You still not eating as much?
It all depends. It all depends on when like Tuesdays are bad days for me because that's the day that my stuff's wearing off. I get hungry.
Hey, Loop Deck, where'd you go?
Dude. But I got up this morning and Johnny was coming on, so I haven't eaten yet.
Well, when you go out and fly with Johnny, does he notice you're losing weight?
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna say that kind of weight loss has got to be noticeable.
Like I said, all my 3X, the regular collar shirts are so huge on me.
Well, good for you. You've been working at it really hard.
No, I haven't.
He said, no, I haven't. I ain't done shit. I've just been
You've
sitting
been
here.
mentally working at it really hard because you had to teach yourself that, you don't want to eat this. No, you don't want to eat that.
No, the medicine just makes him not want to eat anything.
Yeah, I'm not hungry. I'll look at that. Like the other day, they had Arby's, had buy one get one free for the briskets for $7. I get 2 of those big brisket sandwiches. And I looked at it and I said, I don't want it. So why spend $7? I haven't had fast food in going on 9 weeks. Eight weeks as of yesterday. 8 weeks.
Good for you. What is it they got you taking? What's the medication?
Firmware is up to date.
Mounjaro.
Mounjaro. Okay. Well, that's the one with the girls dancing around on the stage. Yeah,
it's the one with the big old fat girl singing. Yeah, I can't stand that commercial. I can't stand it. I said, I'd never take that shit.
Is that expensive?
Yeah. Joe, you got to watch the episode of South Park about them, all the moms in the town get on Ozempic.
Wow.
Oh, it's fucking hilarious, dude. They all like have these like mom clubs and shit where they're all sneaking in Ozempic and taking it with each other.
Wow.
Getting all fucked up on it.
If you don't have insurance, it's expensive. $300 a shot.
Wow.
But when I go get the prescription, it's $1,200. $300 a week.
Jesus Christ, that's expensive. Well, I'm curious to see where the where medication costs go, because I know that was one of the things they signed about 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
That is going to force the drug companies to reduce some medications by up to 90%.
Well, the insurance companies will pay it because they saying and they're getting a break on it.
Yeah, they're looking at the other end.
Yeah, they're looking at
There's
the back
no
end.
reason an American drug company, now mind you, an American drug company, you can go to fucking, let's just say, Taiwan and buy the same medication that American company's making at a fraction of the cost. Right. I mean, almost 2%. Like, if we'll pay $100 a pill, they'll pay like $1.25. How is it so much cheaper in other countries? That's what I don't get. I mean, they were right. We were subsidizing the drug companies' research and development and all their other shit by paying higher prices here for no reason.
Right.
There's no reason an American company should be selling shit cheaper in other countries than their own at the end of the day, or at least on an equal footing.
Okay, the judge in California hearing a lawsuit that Trump is exceeding his federal authority by deploying troops.
Is it a state judge?
It's a federal judge, but it doesn't matter.
He's a what do you call appellate court? Appellate court
this
judge.
Is the deal. It's already been through the Supreme Court and been everything else about being able to look back when Roosevelt did it. Look, there's a whole bunch of cases already. Okay, it's already been done. Because if you do this, there'll be a stay the next morning, and I mean, and the Supreme Court. I'm telling you, when the Supreme Court gets involved, none of these judges have any weight anymore. Watch. I'm telling you. It's not exceeding his authority. It's already
I
been
like how everybody made such a
established.
big deal about the Marines going in. I'm like, what's the difference in the National Guard going in? They're both, they are both equally a lethal fighting force at the end of the day. Like but they were making such a big deal about the Marines, like the Marines were just going to go in and level half of LA or something. No, they're just there to help the cops out.
Yeah, they can start worrying when they start sending RoboCop in.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is most countries' reserve forces don't have a lot of training, where the U.S. reserves have had extensive ass experience and training over the years.
Mm-hmm.
They know what they're doing. A National Guard, platoon, whatever you want to call them, they're just as deadly as any other U.S. group,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we've got the Territorial Army, which basically do the same kind of training exercises as the Army. They're just not officially military.
Well, National Guard and the reserves, I believe, are counted within the ranks of the U.S. military. They're just not full-time necessarily.
Yeah, no, they're not. The Terrys aren't full-time either.
Like if you've seen a National Guardsman, a U.S. Army, and like a Marine just as a foreigner, if you saw them, they would look similar. You wouldn't really be able to tell the difference besides what their patches told you, They would look very similar.
I watched another episode this morning.
What's up, Gary?
Dre, what's up?
The biggest difference in what you guys are talking about is the protocol and how the National Guard or regular federal forces are deployed. Usually it is asked by the local authority for the assistance. No one asked for any assistance. This is a straight call from the president, and that's why they're filing lawsuits, because no one asked for the assistance.
Keyword, usually.
Well, like I said, that's the normal protocol.
But that's usually
in the 10th.
But he can do it. He has the authority.
I didn't say he didn't have the authority. Yeah. I'm just saying that is the normal protocol.
He's just saying that's why they're suing.
Yeah, they're just measuring their body parts. That's all they're doing.
That's what I'm saying, Joe. In the 10th Amendment, it states that states have certain rights against federal occupation.
Right. I agree there,
so that's what I'm saying. If the president of the United States starts sending troops all willy-nilly based on what he wants to see done, you're violating states' rights. That's what the court case is going to be about. States' rights. Not about if the National Guard is going to be this, not about if the Marines are going to be misinterpreting when somebody says cover and they light up somebody's personal house and stuff, which happened back in 92. And that's another lesson that has to be to consider it. That I say, these people do not work together. They do not speak the same language as far as tactical movements and everything else. So you have a high potential of something going wrong. Just like I think it was yesterday, the FBI moved in on a house in East LA and they had the National Guard around the corner blocking off the neighborhood. No problem with that at all. And so,
No, I will agree with you there, Dre. The National Guard's probably trained a little bit better at dealing with the
yeah,
public.
the National Guard
Yeah.
usually is there to work with civilian local entities. Okay, the
Right.
National Guard gets called out in flood, earthquake, all that kind of good stuff to help out. Federal troops is a whole different animal. You know, usually they keep us isolated away from the civilian population. We don't go out there and train with the local, sheriffs, police, or whatever. They keep federal troops isolated away from those type of activities for a specific reason, and that is one of them. The National Guard has always been a part of aiding, and like I say, that aid is usually requested in a certain manner. That we need your guys to come in and help with yada yada yada, whatever it may be. It is not like I say, not a direct order from the president overriding the authority of a state governor. So we'll see what happens. The courts are going to decide and see what happens. So it is said a bad president because, like I say, now is the president going to send troops to Seattle? They got a big protest up there coming. Are they going to send to New York City? Had a big protest there last night. How many places are you going to activate troops?
Well, the underlying thing, Dre, is the fact that we're living in a period of total unrule on the streets.
Well, that's the perception you're being fed, that we're totally unruly. No officer has been shot, killed. They've had bottles thrown at them, police cars damaged, but we don't have what happened back in '92.
Oh yeah, those riots were way worse.
Yes, we're not even close to that level.
Well,
so how do you explain '92 being the benchmark to what's happening today? Not even close.
Go ahead, Justin. You wanted to say something?
Do you think protests or riots ever achieve their goal at the end of the day, though? I don't think they really ever have.
Like I was telling you guys the other day, over the last 5-6 years, we have had strikes, protests, and everything from nurses to actors to writers to whoever you can claim, hotel workers. Everybody's been striking and protesting here in California for one reason or another. But
I mean, this isn't nothing new for sure.
That's what I'm saying. It's nothing new.
I mean, think about back in the '60s, the mass protests for the Vietnam War.
You look at this protests in the '60s where cities were literally on fire. Just like I say, '92 is the benchmark for this current generation. That's the benchmark. So are we at that level? No, not in the least bit. And like I said, what people don't understand, every police department has a mutual aid agreement. Okay? That means every surrounding police agency, just like when the wildfires happen, every fire department from Washington State to wherever else was coming to Southern California to help fight those wildfires because we all have a mutual aid agreement. Now, when that mutual aid agreement is insufficient to where they cannot handle what's going on, that is when you start calling in National Guard and so on and so forth.
Yeah, I don't know how many times my dad got
LAPD
called.
itself has over 9,000 officers by itself. And you talk about
LAPD?
Yeah.
Oh, I figured they had more than that. Wow.
They got like 9,000 officers themselves. And you talk about all the surrounding cities there that have a couple hundred officers. I know Long Beach PD, when I left back in the 90s, we had over 600 officers plus. So, you get all these other cities, you bring all these people in who are trained to handle crowd control, who are familiar with the orders and the formations and everything else. And then there you go. But like last night, we had the PD staging here in my yard because there was word that there might be another protest at our ICE facility here. And all the officers were here in the yard getting briefed and everything else, ready to deploy. They had I stopped by and teased the guy that was in the command vehicle because he had the M30T sitting out. And I said, "You keep sitting out there, I'm gonna take it home. I could use a backup." You know, and so I'm saying that there's a lot of layers before you get to the point where you need to send troops in.
Yeah, Jim's
While,
talking about the riots back in '68, Detroit.
yeah, you got riots, 68 riots. I mean, it was the LA riots in 68 because you had the riots in Detroit, you had riots in DC, you had riots in I think it's Boston. You had riots almost across the country.
I mean, the movement back in the '60s against the Vietnam War was massive.
Well, it was a combination: Vietnam War, civil rights. There's a lot of different issues that were a lot of movements that kind of combined together. But my point is that there's a lot of things that have happened since those times, as far as one city thinking they're being overwhelmed. And like I say, Chief McDonald, like I say, our boy in Washington D.C., he's singing that same song. Boy, the police chief said he was overwhelmed. He needed our help. The problem is, when I interview him, he says, "I never called nobody to ask for help." So who's lying?
Maybe he didn't call anybody, but maybe was there any kind of news conference where he said that?
No, like he keep explaining. He explained the same
I don't
thing.
know.
We have a mutual aid agreement. If it gets to a point where I don't have to, one thing people understand, not every officer is on these protests. We still got to answer 911 calls.
Right,
That's
exactly.
why I said you bring in additional officers from neighboring departments and all this kind of stuff to assist on where that need is greater. Do they go out and handle calls for service, or do they most likely they come in and stand the line?
Yeah, I don't know how many times my dad got called to wildfires from Barstow, Newberry area,
Right.
where
So
he'd
I mean,
have to
there as I
take a
said, there
crew
are
with him.
things in place so that's what the argument about this court case is going to be is who asked for the assistance. Period. Who felt that LAPD and all the departments in Southern California could not handle what was taking place. That somebody in Washington D.C. felt, "Oh, we need to authorize the National Guard, bring in the Marines," you know.
Why
all
didn't
this.
they just deploy more National Guardsmen?
Well, they're supposed to be talking about supposed to be a total of 7,000. And I don't know what they're going to do.
Because they could have brought them in from neighboring states too, right?
Yeah,
If needed.
yeah.
Yeah.
But that's what I said about the border. Why not you use reservists and National Guard to maintain the border? Call it a militarized zone, maintain the border. Stop pussyfooting around with trying to build walls and bull crap. Like I say, every National Guard unit, every reserve unit goes and do an active duty period every year. And they just stagger that time to overlap, but each group would go down there and do their time on the border.
Have they even started construction on the wall again?
No, they got to find the money. That's why it was so essential for DOGE to do what it did to get that money. Because that's what's in this bill. Money to build a wall, money for other little projects that he said he wanted to do. So that's all I say is it's to me it's a bunch of dog and pony show. The National Guard is not out there patrolling the streets like they did back in the 60s, where National Guard did actually do that. They were patrolling streets. They're not doing it now. They're standing in front of federal buildings.
Yeah, and in some cases they're standing behind the police as just backup.
Yeah, that's what they said. They were bringing the Marines in basically just to guard the federal buildings.
Yeah, that's it. I'm like, is that truly necessary? Maybe. We'll figure it out.
Well, it was in Portland a few years ago.
Mm-hmm.
They needed to protect the federal buildings.
Yeah. But like I said, those buildings are still standing today. Portland's like I said, I worked and lived in Portland area 3 years back in from '89 to early '90s, and that place is easy to cordon off because three bridges lead you into downtown Portland. You can block that downtown area off, and the only way you can leave is go out through the west end over into what's it called, Tillamook and other places where Nike headquarters sits. So you can control downtown Portland fairly easy.
Right here. Did you buy it online? Let me hold on. Let me.
Yeah, I'm not sure, Jim. That's all I was asking. Because if you look up on like YouTube or any other place, you know, building the wall, it's either old videos or it's people that are just re-showing old clips trying to say that's what they're doing now. But you
Most
can
of his old
click.
clip because all the funding that Trump initially got in his first term was taken away and puts and used other places, and that's why he's trying to get money back to start building the wall again. But in the same thing, the wall was already scheduled. Some parts of the wall were already scheduled to be reconstructed or reinforced, and that goes back to the Obama administration.
There's actually sections of the wall that I watched a YouTuber who went down and did an interview with the sheriff. I think it was Dr. Phil did one too, where they took a ride down at the wall, and there was actually sections of the wall that was not said in the media, but Biden actually ordered put up.
Yeah,
but the wall looked different. It wasn't the same as the one that Trump had initially
like
put
I said,
up.
there's been efforts over several administrations to, I would say, there's always been some type of barrier. It has not just been some open flat land that people can just, skip around and jump over from one side to the other. There's always been some type of barriers out there for the most part. But like I said, when you have a large amount of people who keep coming across, the numbers stack up. Like I said, I don't have a problem securing our border, but let's do it in the most efficient manner. Building a wall is a waste of money.
I think they're doing a good job at the moment, though.
Yeah, because it's military control at the moment. It's all military forces down, and that's why I said that is the most effective manner of doing it. Boots on the ground, when you can rotate them people through every month, a couple months, you rotate reservists and National Guard units through from every state. Everybody plays a role in securing the border. I say that with the technology we have, with underground sonic measurements and drone development and all this kind of stuff, radar, dude. Johnny on the spot, dude. Johnny on the spot.
I watched The Accountant too. It's pretty good, Dre.
Yeah, but it wasn't as good as the first one, though.
I have to go back and rewatch the first one because I just don't remember it. But I know I watched it. I'm almost positive I did.
The first one was a little more intense and everything. The second one is almost like, him and his brother kind of make up, and he's not that. I guess he's learning to adjust to society.
I love when he was in the bar and he told the dude, he's like, "Hit me, come on, just hit me." He was waiting for his brother to go the fuck off.
Yeah, just hit me.
All of a sudden, you see three dudes go flying through the fucking bar window.
Yeah, but I was thinking, I was waiting to see more of a fight. Let's see the fight.
Yeah, there could have been more in that scene for sure.
And then it ain't nothing to do. The chick that they fighting over, what happened to her?
Yeah, that was funny as hell. Though all of a sudden it shows him freezing and he's running at him.
Yeah.
How you doing, Jason?
Gentlemen, good morning. Paul, Dre, Justin, Joe, Captain. Can't see who else is in the thing.
Lance.
But getting back to the whole thing,
Jonathan,
though, Joe and Justin, it's the war of words.
Hey, Mark.
One person says, "Oh, we were told they needed help," and then other people said, "We never asked for help. We never told nobody we needed help." So it's going to come.
We got that one sheriff that said he was overwhelmed. So
what sheriff? There's only one sheriff for LA County.
Well, there was one police chief or somebody said we were overwhelmed.
like I say, I worked with both of those individuals at Long Beach, and I have not seen an interview with either one of them that said they were overwhelmed.
Well, there was one that said it.
So I said, well, hopefully somebody will find the clip and show it, because I have yet to see it. Like I said, if they're overwhelmed, they'd have called in mutual aid. And you'd have had police showing up as far out as where I'm at, 50 miles away, rushing to get to LA.
Well, they did show mutual aid coming from someplace on the interstate. A bunch of them.
I haven't heard of any news of any departments out this way. Like I said, you got so many departments around LA. Like I say, they can muster up over 3,000-4,000 officers in a matter of about 2 hours. And like he said, the only call for help came is from the federal people who called LAPD for help. And he said from the time that call went out, it took them 38 minutes to have whatever amount of officers they needed to be on scene. That was the only people who called for help was the federal officers. And here's that interview right here. I just looked it up. Let me share it. Let's see what we got going on here. That guy pushed something for the sound. Share sound. There it is. Yeah.
That question, a great question. It was, how does the deployment of so many officers downtown or in any one part of the city affect our ability to provide police services citywide? It greatly impacts our ability because it pulls officers who would normally deploy in communities around the city of Los Angeles into one area in order to be able to address the threat that we're facing. And so
Are you going to share something, Dre?
one tactical alert, that means we only handle radio calls of significant importance, meaning a violent crime in progress, calls that have to be answered right away. So the other calls get put on a queue and may not get handled for some time to come. And they're important to everyone who is a victim of any kind of a crime. And so when we go to tactical alert, we don't do it lightly. But in this case, we did it very quickly because we needed additional resources right away to be able to help quell the violence. And that situation, as you can see tonight, has only gotten worse.
Chief, given what you said about not being informed so you could pre-stage for the incident that started this thing, and you said, I believe, that you spoke with the ICE director as well as other city officials today. Is there any effort being made for ICE to share information about what their next move?
Yeah, that's something that we did talk about, and there's no resolution to that. And the problem is that we are guided and bound by the California Values Act, which means that we can't participate in any way in civil immigration enforcement. So the federal partners have been reticent to provide information to us before something happens because of that reason. Part of that is they want to be respectful of the rules that we have to live by, but it also, on a normal situation, not that big a deal, but in a situation like we saw here in the past couple of days, it turns out to be a very big deal. So we're going to continue to work with the partners that I mentioned and many others as we go forward to try and be able to make things as safe for everybody as we can.
All right, Spectrum.
Chief, how many arrests so far?
Yes, Captain Raul Javel, Operations Central Bureau, Incident Commander.
At least, this is very fluid and preliminary. At least 10 people arrested so far. There's arrests being made as we speak. About 3 officers injured. Unfortunately, very fortunate, on very minor injuries, or I wouldn't say not minor, but they're not significant enough to be transported to a local hospital or treated at the scene. But we're making more arrests as we speak, and we're trying to get into that posture where we're able to make arrests. Right now, really, our officers are really under attack. If you can see, when the chief was talking about, we're trying to, first of all, ensure that our officers are safe and the public is safe. And then we'll move into, if we can arrest, we'll arrest, and then obviously protect the property and our vehicles and other things like that. But as of now, 10 arrests.
God damn it, no.
And if I could just jump on, and then 29 last night as well. And so as we move forward, we will step up our arrest posture in order to hold people accountable and do what we can to stop this violence.
We're going to go 2 more questions.
Really quick, yeah, she asked the question that I have with people. How long can we expect for this situation to happen?
I'm sorry, say that one more time.
How long do you think this situation is going to become?
Yeah, for me, again, that would be speculative to say how long that the members of ICE will be in town doing the enforcement actions they're doing. But by calling out the National Guard, oftentimes their deployment periods are in 30-day periods. And so, to me, it's going to be an extended period of time. I don't know how long that'll be. We're gearing up for that to be able to participate in a meaningful way as we move forward without exhausting our people beyond what they already are. We're a department that went through 5 months plus of the fires and dealing with the fallout from the fires. And as you can imagine, with a very limited sized department to begin with, that's a big stress on our deployment, but more so on our people and their families. So as we move forward, we'll do everything we can to focus on employee wellness and to be able to offer whatever services we can to address the needs of our folks.
Chief, we'll go one more back there because he hasn't asked yet, and so Karma, go ahead, and then one more, and then we're gonna call it.
So Chief, just 2 questions. One, is there a chance of instituting a curfew? And 2, will you be going back and re-looking at any of these incidents that maybe there wasn't an opportunity to make an arrest at a time, but going back and trying to investigate who was responsible and potentially arresting after that?
No, thank you for the question. I spoke with the sheriff today, and we discussed the possibility of implementing a curfew. We don't rush into doing that, but if we need to do that, I'll go back with the sheriff and we'll look at the options as far as that goes. And as far as give me the second part of the question again.
For some of these incidents we watch unfold, a lot of people watch
I gotcha.
things just unfold in real time, thinking, are any of these people going to be held accountable for this, for the cars on fire and things like that? Is there a chance of going back? And
Absolutely. When you look at the numbers of arrests we've made, pale in comparison to what will be made. There are video accounts of what happened everywhere on social media, on individuals' cameras, iPhones. We will go after that very aggressively. Go after the all available video, analyze that video, and hold whoever we can accountable for the variety of different types of crimes that have been committed. And that's something we'll do with a number of different partners with levels of expertise that may be beyond what we have. No, thank you for that.
Matt Armstead from the LA Times. Can you tell me on what charges people were arrested yesterday and today?
Do you have the specifics?
So yesterday, the 29 folks were for failure to disperse. They were all arrested today. So today, so far, this is very preliminary because there's so much stuff going on. The stuff that we know is one person was arrested for throwing a Molotov cocktail at an officer.
The dude looks like Ray Liotta.
An incident, and then another individual for ramming a motorcycle into one of our line where the officers were and injured one of the officers. Everything else is still very fluid, and I won't have that for a while.
Was anyone arrested on the freeway or related to the freeway?
So CHP has made at least 17 arrests that I'm aware of in the freeway.
Can you tell us?
All right, thank you, everyone. Commander Hurtado will stick around to comments in Spanish.
Fucking power kicked off a minute ago.
You still having power outages down there?
It kicked off for like 2 seconds and came back on and just glitched. Booted me off.
Well, you know,
but my internet
you gotta
connects
pay the
up.
bill.
My new internet, though, it kicks back on really quick. Dude, Spectrum would take forever to come back online if it got reset.
Jason,
you
where are you
again-
headed? You headed to work?
Sir, business as usual. Headed to work. You know what I need to do, Justin? Now that you mention it, with this power kicking off, I think I'm going to put my Wi-Fi router slash the ONT and the modem on a UPS.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So when
Yeah.
the power kicks off or surges, I'll still maintain. Not that I've had many issues with power outages, but if it's gonna kick off, it'll kick off for a little bit of time and then it'll come back on. But that way, at a minimum, it stays uninterrupted. You know, because can't have any interruptions when I'm playing some Fortnite, right? I mean, the computers and everything are on UPSs, but the modems and routers are not. It's like, huh? So
You need to just go ahead and just do the full thing. Get a Generac. You can just that way you can back the whole house up.
you got a link? I am looking at one.
Those are nice though, man. I'd see people in the hurricanes, and the power would go out, and boom, their house kick right back on, full air conditioning, and everything. Those are definitely nice, and especially if you're in an area like this,
right?
Where you got
My boss, he has a generator. My boss has a Tesla and an F-150 Lightning, both electric vehicles, that he can actually use the F-150. He can plug it into his house.
Yeah, I forgot those did that. Yeah.
And use that to power the home for X number of days, he said.
How many?
And he's got solar panels as well.
Oh, it could power a whole house? Or
Yeah,
would it be like
that's what
essentials
he
in
said.
the house? Huh.
I mean, I would submit that at a minimum, the essentials, can it do the whole house, the essential air and everything, I think when they had power out, he had people over at his house because he is the only one on his block with power because of his truck.
Huh.
Which I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. That's a good reason to have something like that. You got yourself a mobile power station, effectively. But I think I'd rather have a standalone generator at home because I'm not interested in getting a Tesla or a Lightning. In fact, I think Ford stopped manufacturing the Lightning.
Well, a lot of the car manufacturers went back to focusing more on hybrids because they weren't selling as many electric vehicles as they thought they were going to.
Yeah.
And the problem was Tesla kind of had that big ass market of it too already. So they were kind of coming into the game a little late.
Dude. Yeah, I think, to my knowledge, there's only a handful of car manufacturers that make electric cars. Clearly Tesla. Ford no longer does it. I think Rivian is another one.
Oh, Toyota, Hyundai, all of them had their own version of
Are they
electric
still
cars.
manufactured? Yeah.
And most of them
See,
were
I'm
doing
not-
hybrids at
Okay.
first.
Yeah, I didn't really pay attention to any of that just because. Well, I didn't,
I'll tell you what,
An electric
hybrids
car
are
does
nice
not
for
interest-
gas, so.
Oh yeah.
Especially if it's it charges itself and you don't necessarily need to plug it in.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I get almost 500 miles on a tank of fuel with the electric assist. It's like 480 or something like that. 490. It's right under 500.
Yeah.
Bless you, Lance.
Thank you.
I don't have to fill up my car, but like once every 3-4 weeks.
Yeah, bless you, Lance. You need all the blessing you can get.
For sure.
Well, Justin, you don't have to drive nowhere anymore. Riding that bus.
I still got to drive to the bus yard. They don't pick me up at my house.
Oh, you sure? I thought they picked you up in the short yellow one.
You need
Yeah,
to take a
short
bus
bus.
to take a bus.
Now you can actually use quite a bit of gas going back and forth to there because essentially you're going back and forth 4 times a day. You're leaving there, you're going there in the morning, getting back after your morning run, going home, driving back, and then going back home again at the end of the day. I mean, technically you could sit there at the bus yard, but not sitting there for 3-4 hours.
I mean, it all depends how close you live, if it's convenient or not. Because I've seen people who, they bring the buses by their houses, park them there, and they go back and do their second run in the afternoon.
Yeah, I'm only about 5 miles from the bus yard, so it's not a very far drive. It only takes me about 10 minutes to get home.
No, man, you can get your electric scooter, dude. You'd be set.
Yeah.
I was actually thinking about that at one point, getting like an electric bike or something.
Yeah. You're only 5 miles away. You good.
Yeah, and some of them new electric bikes and scooters are fucking quick, too. What the hell? What are you doing?
That's their morning wake up at school.
Oh, I thought you were playing that.
No. In Lance's school. Morning wake up.
Now, who was saying that Ford don't make it? They got that Mustang, they call it the Mach-E.
No, he was talking about the electric F-150. I don't think
it's
they're
still
making
around. Somebody said, I think it was Jim said he got some literature. But I know they literally advertised the I always call it the electric Mustang, the Mach-E, 4-door.
Now, is it a new one though, Jim, or is it one that's like a year old or something? I don't know. I heard that they weren't making them anymore, but they may have reversed that decision.
Yeah. I thought it was GM that stopped making electric vehicles altogether.
Well, I know a lot of them were going to stop doing it because they were sitting on. They pretty much essentially just made too many of them, assuming
the whole
market.
thing is, if you don't advertise them, nobody's going to go down and look at them and buy them.
Well, I think from what I gathered from when they were talking about it, it was they anticipated a huge buy from customers, but then it turned out they just made too many of them, and then they were sitting on a lot of them.
Yeah, well, I go back to advertising because my thing is the Chevy Volt, which came out the beginning of the century and stuff, early 2000s.
Oh yeah, it's been around for a minute.
Decent vehicle, but far as I ever knew, I never saw not one commercial about the Chevy Volt advertising it. They didn't push it.
You can't say I do.
Everybody else, when hybrids were the big thing initially, the Chevy Volt was the first all electric, but everybody was going hybrids where you had the Toyota Prius and Nissan had the Leaf and a couple other people. And this is before Tesla even got off and running. It's just Chevy never advertised the thing. I mean, it ain't like it was already known about. Like I said, if people don't know, they ain't gonna go look for it.
I don't know. Ever since I switched to a hybrid, I don't think I'd ever go back to a full gasoline car. Not unless the mileage just went up like crazy on them. Because the amount of gas that I've saved so far in the past 3-4 months to what I was spending before.
Yeah.
I mean, it's almost. I was spending anywhere between $20 to $30 a week in gas, and now I'm barely spending that in a month.
Yeah.
So
I give to, if I was still commuting, like to Long Beach and stuff, I would definitely have me a hybrid or electric. Like my son, he has the 2 Teslas, and his wife is a airline stewardess, so she drives into LAX a couple of times a week, parks it and does her flights, and then comes home and everything, and it works out great for them.
yeah, they really do save you a lot in fuel.
Well, you could save all your parking fees as well. Just send it back home.
Oh yeah, the Tesla. Just have it drive itself back home.
Mhm. But I don't know. I'm just so old school, man. But I like to hear the rumble of the exhaust. I like to feel that pushback in my seat when I hit the accelerator.
Well, then you ain't drove a Tesla yet.
Yeah, well, my son
Like
said
a Tesla,
has
I'll
the
throw you
torque.
in the back.
Yeah, the torque in the Tesla is awesome.
Yeah, and it's full torque and full horsepower from scratch. You don't have to wait for it to build it up to the revs.
Right.
It's straight away.
Yeah. But like I said, it ain't got no exhaust sound. So I'm like, right now I'm driving a hybrid car, and I gotta look at the dash twice to make sure it's on. When I hit the start button, it ain't no rumble, ain't no nothing. I'm like, is this thing on?
Hey, we just do like Mars did on his one wheel, Dre, and just put a speaker with the sounds revving up and down. Yeah. That's what Mars did. Mars took a big JBL speaker and hooked it to his one wheel, and he's got motorcycle sounds that actually they're in tune with the one wheel. So when he revs up the one wheel and goes faster, the sounds will ramp up. And it sounds like a fucking Harley going down the road.
The Nissan Leaf had that inside. You could actually switch on a noise that made it sound like there was an engine.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So yeah, I was some semi right then, Jim. He said Ford still does make the F-150 Lightning, but has been put on hold for a short time due to sales. Yeah.
Well, since
like I say, same thing. Ford's not really pushing the advertisement on the F-150 Lightning, because I would have thought they brought back the old Lightning with the big high performance engine in it.
Since Trump did that executive order making it so they don't have to desist on making the petrol ones and start making the electric ones before, 2030, most of them I think have stopped.
Well, it looks like the deal with China is all hammered out and done now.
Yeah, I have to wait and see what it looks like. But your boy Elon is pissed because he's losing all his EV money, charging station money.
Dude, he was there when Trump signed the executive order for that. And he didn't say anything. And that was 2 months ago? This was way before he went off.
Yeah,
and that's why I was giving Elon credit. I was like, dude, he literally was standing there with Trump when Trump signed that order to take that off the books, saying you don't have to build those. And he was supporting him about that back then. And I was like, okay, I give it to him because that could have benefited him immensely.
Yeah, he's the only one I know in California, there are no other EV stations but Tesla ones. Just like you go to that place there just outside of Barstow, with the big ice cream float thing. You know what I'm talking about, Justin. It's a big gas station.
You're talking about out by Yermo?
Yeah.
Or Dag? No, Yermo, not Dag.
Yermo, yeah.
It'd be the I-15.
Yeah, it's on the I-15.
Yeah, they built that.
That thing's got like 15, 20 charging stations in there. I had to do a drone job of it, filming it for all these charging stations.
I've never been there because they built that after I moved away.
Yeah, well, I've been there. I do a job there.
Last time I was visiting, that wasn't there. So
yeah, yeah. So I was flying it, and they got like 15, 20 charging stations, all Teslas.
That's a little farther down from like Peggy Sue's, huh?
Yeah, right around the same
Yeah.
exit or two. And then
Yeah.
the same thing, you go down to Baker, and I went to, I guess it's one of the bigger little spots there, almost near the east end of Baker. Same thing, they had at least about a dozen Tesla charging stations there.
Baker is a sad little town, I'll tell you that.
Everything out there is a sad little town, dude.
I don't even know if any kids live out there where they even go to school, because they didn't go to any of our schools, and we would have been the closest district to them.
Yeah.
So I don't know where the hell any kids out there would even go to school if they just have one central school for all grades. I don't know. But
I
it's
just look
not a
at-
very big population. It's probably got maybe a couple thousand people, if that.
If that, I just tell my wife, I said, man, if I was in firefighting, I said that would be the spot to go. You ain't never got to fight a fire out there. Ain't nothing to burn.
Well, I mean, in general, most firefighters, 90% of their calls aren't even fires; they're just medical shit.
Yeah,
Or car
like I
accidents
say,
or something.
the nearest medical facility is going to be probably going back into Vegas.
Yeah.
Because you're right there in the middle at Baker. You're in the middle of going to Vegas or going all the way back to Barstow.
Yeah. And
For
Barstow Hospital isn't one of those hospitals that can really take major shit.
Right, that's what I'm saying. So depending upon what it is, it's going to depend upon where they're going to take you, and they're going to have to life flight your ass anyway.
Yeah.
They're talking about we're going to drive you. Say I'll be dead in an hour. It's 2 hours out of Barstow. I'm 2 hours. I'm about an hour and a half out of Vegas.
If you drove, well, I guess if you were an emergency vehicle, you could probably get from Baker to Vegas in, I'd say 45 minutes if you were hauling ass. I mean, hauling
Yeah,
ass.
you have to be doing some serious hauling ass. Yeah.
We used to take the power line road all the way from Newberry. We'd take it to Baker, get off at Baker, get our gas, food, drinks, whatever. We'd get back on it and take it all the way into Vegas. Never even get on the freeway. And then we'd do that on a Friday afternoon. You know how the fucking freeways at a standstill.
Yeah.
And we'd just be driving just down a nice big smooth graded road that the power line company kept graded.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't illegal to drive down it. It was all
Yeah.
open. And we'd be driving right next to the freeway and just everybody be sitting still. And we'd take that power line road all the way into Vegas. I don't know if you could still do that coming into Vegas, only because it's expanded so much. I don't know if that's.
I don't know because I never paid attention to side, but I know they widen the freeway at various sections now to where it's 3 lanes, and they give a lane, basically a lane for the truckers to drive in on some of the grades.
Yeah. Because there's no reason for a trucker to be in any of those lanes going from Barstow to Vegas, unless they're stopping in Baker. Because there is nothing to turn off on. It's just a straight shot.
Yeah.
So there's no reason for them to be sitting in a fast lane.
Yeah, well, like I say,
like that.
usually when you get towards a grade, like the grade come out of Baker going uphill, it's 3 lanes, and then they'll cut it back to 2 lanes, and people do what they do, man. Truckers get in the fast lane because the other truckers are doing too slow and all kind of dumb stuff. So.
Oh yeah, the amount of trucks that go down 40 and 15 through there is insane. Just nonstop all day long.
And that's the difference. Over here, trucks are not allowed in the fast lane. They can only go in the other 2.
Well, it's not even technically a fast lane over here. It's technically supposed to be a passing lane.
It's an overtaking lane. It's not a fast
Yeah.
lane.
Yeah.
Because y'all drive on the wrong side of the
I mean,
road.
I'll stay in the fast lane if there's nobody behind me for if there's nobody behind me for a long time and I'm not in nobody's way and I'm doing a little over the speed limit, I'll stay in the fast lane. But if somebody comes up behind me, I immediately get over. But I don't stay in it if traffic's heavy.
I mean, you're allowed to stay in here if there's nothing to stop you from going in the other lanes.
The only times the cops will bitch around here about it is if the traffic's heavy and you're kind of blocking that lane up. But if you were going down a road in the middle of the night and there's nobody on it but you, and you're in the fast lane, and you pass a cop, most likely he ain't gonna look twice at you. So. But they don't really enforce that around here anyway, I've noticed. So. The one thing they're big on around here is just speeding. They get everybody for speeding. That's why I still have my own rule. I only go up to 5 over, and that's it. If I'm on the highway, I set it. If it's 70, I'll do 75 and set the cruise control. And I'll cruise at like 74, 75. Because most cops won't pull you over till, they'll have like a 5-7 mile an hour buffer zone that they'll go by. If you're higher than that, that's when they'll get you. Unless it's a school zone. They'll fucking get you for going 16 mile an hour through a school zone here. They don't play about that. I got pulled over for doing 17. But I didn't get a ticket for it. The guy was nice enough to let me go. But because a majority of the schools around here, they're not all of them, but a majority of them, whenever school's getting in or out, they usually will have a cop out by the road, just sitting there watching. Especially in the high traffic areas.
Paul and Joe, you guys heard that Brian Wilson died yesterday.
Yep.
From the Beach Boys.
Yep.
Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah, I saw the thing on Facebook yesterday. Or last
They've
night.
had all kind of tributes on the news in the last 24 hours.
So he was what, the founder of the Beach Boys?
Yeah,
one of
he was the founder and
one of the original
songwriter.
What's up, Jody? Trey, I'm right there with you. Need to hear the motor and have the power. I run a 632 cubic in a race car.
Good morning, Jody.
Yeah.
Good.
Oh, there's definitely something about getting into like a muscle car and the roar of it and everything. Because that was what that movie with had Adam Sandler and the guy from King of Queens was in it. And the whole movie,
Parents or something like that.
it was the movie where they were building electric vehicles.
Oh, I
can't.
haven't seen that one.
Yeah, I can't remember the name of it, but in the movie, their whole company was around designing an electric car to sound like a gas car, to give you the rumble and the feel of a real car or a gas powered car. I can't think of what the name of the movie was. Actually, it wasn't that bad of a movie. Let's see if I can find the name of it.
Europe's done 10 long range, we've done 9. And nobody understands it. Actually, today when the numbers came out, they were so good. You saw yesterday's numbers, incredible. Inflation. today's numbers.
Let's see. That's not on his list of movies. I know he was in it. Oh, never mind. It wasn't Adam Sandler. It was who was it? Oh, it was Vince Vaughn and Kevin James. It's called The Dilemma.
Oh.
I thought it was Adam Sandler, but it was Benchwarmers. No, it wasn't Benchwarmers. It was The Dilemma, and in the movie, that's what they were trying to sell their business throughout the movie. And that's what their main business was. They were trying to build a system to make an electric car sound like a gas-powered, souped-up car. And in the movie, I think they had like an all-electric Mustang or something. And they were trying to build a system to make it sound like a gas-powered one.
If I can get my wife to get the patio furniture cleaned up, I want to watch a movie in the backyard this weekend. I'm gonna watch all type of spy movies this summer.
I just got done watching the 3rd season of Reacher. That was really good.
With that big projection TV out there.
Yep. Break out the projector. Got a 180-inch screen for the backyard.
Just got through the 3rd episode of Reacher. I think it's 3. Where he shoots the 2 South Americans that were following him away from the bar.
Oh, yeah. I remember that episode. Like I said, dude, when that dude holds a fucking Desert Eagle in his hand, it looks like a regular handgun in one of our hands. Fucking dude is huge. Did you watch the episode where they were actually in the prison? You watched those ones already, right?
Yeah, that was the first one.
When he gets off the bed and the guy comes in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He gets him and then he turns to the other one and says, "You owe me a pair of glasses."
Yeah. Beat the shit out of that dude. He said, "You came into my house without permission, fatso."
Yeah, I just got a digital copy of the Amateur with Rami Malek and Lawrence Fishburne.
Amateur.
So I'm probably gonna watch that. I'd like to watch that this Saturday. I might just have to set it up and just clean the chairs off myself.
Buy yourself one of those electric drill pressure washers.
I don't think I've seen The Amateur.
Yeah, it was out in the movies about 2 months ago.
I'm about to check that one out though.
The dude's Rami Malek plays a CIA analyst. No, he's a software developer for the CIA. And for some reason, his wife gets killed in some type of botched deal overseas. So he's like, I work for the CIA. They should be able to tell me something. And everybody's kind of blowing him off. So he decided to take matters in his own hands.
Oh, he's a CIA analyst that analyzed the wrong shit, huh?
Mhm. But it's what
Later,
you call
Jen.
it's what you call the type of movie where this guy is just so, I would say, wicked smart. He's always 2 or 3 steps ahead of everybody,
Hmm.
And because of his high intelligence, he finds very innovative ways to kill everybody.
Oh yeah, I might check that out. Sounds like a good movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I watched that.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the other Mission Impossible. I haven't found an HD copy yet.
Yeah, I got the last one on pre-order. I'll probably end up watching the other one this summer too in the backyard.
Sky is showing all the other ones on their own channel, so
Mhm.
all before the next one comes out.
It's already been. It's not out over there yet.
Yeah, but it's not. It's only
Not-
cinema.
yeah, it's not. It's not on digital or
Yeah.
Blu or 4K yet. I get you.
Download
Yeah, I already got
that
my
one.
pre-order put in, but they don't have no date when it's going to be released. So I said,
Yeah.
okay, I got a list of about 10 movies I'd like to watch this summer.
It's the same as Justin. I could watch the video camera version of it.
Yeah.
I just downloaded the amateur.
Mhm.
I found an HD copy of that, and they still don't have. It's still just a cam version of Mission Impossible.
Mhm.
Mind you, the last cam version that I watched was pretty good.
There's a couple of them I watched that weren't bad at all. Like there was nobody in the theater; it was quiet.
Yeah,
and they actually had a decent camera.
Yeah. I mean, the camera quality, those people who do that kind of stuff are getting better, but you still just don't get the audio.
Yeah, the audio is a little off.
It was a bit
Yeah.
basic.
Sure.
That's all. Yeah.
And that's a key thing for me is having a quality audio.
Oh, that's why you take a couple sets of DJI mics and you set them up all around the theater. You know.
That's what it
Come
is
in
probably
a
too.
bunch of mics velcroed around the damn theater.
Mhm. Because I actually wanted to see this last Mission Impossible. I was trying to find a theater that has that what do they call it, X screen or whatever it is. Where they got 3 screens to show the whole picture on. But I don't have one in my area.
X screen. I've never heard of that.
The
Yeah, it's
iMac.
got like three screens, 3 huge screens for you to watch the movies.
But you don't see the lines in the screen, obviously, right?
No,
Okay.
no, there's no. In other words, when you're in that kind of environment, it's kind of like you got 2 or 3 monitors. Everything's blending together.
Yeah. Okay.
Bit
Well,
like
I know
the IMAX.
Well, I know the theaters here, they have those huge curved screens now, kind of curved with the theater.
Yeah.
And those are real nice. The one me and
Yeah.
Sarah go to has got some comfortable seats too, all electric recliners and everything.
Yeah, everybody's got those now.
The one me and Kate went to. Yeah.
And what's great is
I-
with the elevating seating, you can't actually see the person in front of you.
Mhm.
And you can kick your feet up all the way and everything.
Yeah. Did Joe blend into his background or something?
No, he's just not sitting there.
He's printing. He's either printing or he's what's it?
See that shitty ass Apple mouse right there on his on his desk.
Lance is still showing a cupboard.
Well, class should be starting for Lance.
He's flipping me off. I don't know, dude. Apple just really, the design of that mouse was so dumb. They put the charging port on the bottom of it. And every other built-in batteried mouse, it's on the front, so you can plug it in and still use it while it's charging.
I agree. It's a pain in the ass having to plug it in from underneath. Yeah.
Actually, the best setup, if you want a wireless mouse, it's a little pricey, is you get the Logitech with the wireless mouse pad, and it actually charges the mouse while you're using it. The pad's one big charging pad, so you don't ever have to run a cable. You just have the one initial cable for the pad, and that's it. You don't have to run another cable in order to power the mouse and all that. If it goes dead. So you don't have to.
Can't be a wireless mouse pad then, can it? Because it's got a wire to it.
No, just wireless charging.
Yeah.
I don't know. I went back to I used to have the K57 and the Dark Core Pro, and those were both wireless. And since I don't ever move my keyboard or mouse anywhere else, I was like, you know what? When I bought the new K70 and that, I don't remember which mouse this is, new Corsair mouse. I went to just back to wired. I was like, because I had to run 2 wires to keep them charged anyway. So I was like, what was the point of even having a wireless keyboard and mouse, you know? But I got to run 2 cables constantly to charge them. So, because one was the old keyboard was micro USB, and then the mouse was USB-C. So I ended up having to run 2 cables anyway to the back of them, just sitting there all the time, just in case I needed to plug one of them in. Now, if you're somebody that's like moving around a lot, you're taking your keyboard places, you might be sitting on the couch with it, then I totally understand getting a wireless keyboard and mouse. But to be honest, there's no point if your shit's never moving off your desk. Especially if you got like gaming type mouses and keyboards, because they don't stay powered for too long because the RGBs and everything on them. You know, that kills the battery pretty quick. Versus like a standard Logitech wireless keyboard. That you could get a lot of use out of that on like 1 or 2 AA batteries for a while.
Yeah, I don't understand all this RGB lights everywhere. It doesn't actually make you play any better.
No, it boosts your computer by 20% power.
Is that like your car gets 5 horsepower when you wax it?
Yeah.
Go faster, Stripe.
First thing I ask people, they say my computer's acting up. Well, did you add more RGB strips? Corey's new computer he's only had for 6 months took a shit on him a couple days ago.
Like the 2 big white stripes down the middle of a Shelby Cobra.
Yeah.
His won't boot up, and he's tried reseating the RAM, doing 1 stick at a time to see if one of the sticks was bad. Nothing. So he's thinking it's the CPU. But luckily, the place he bought it from in Canada, his computer's under a 1-year, warranty with the
How much
place he bought
space he
it
has
from.
on his hard drive?
Knowing Corey, probably 85 terabytes. You should see the amount of storage he has. Yeah, Corey's got a whole server in his room or in his basement and everything.
Mhm.
Like Corey knows what he's doing, but like I told when we were talking last night, I was like, I mean, you got a warranty on it. Why even fuck with it yourself when you could just take it in and let them fix it, you know? Because Corey totally could tear that computer apart and fix it if he wanted to.
Hmm.
Corey's really good with that kind of stuff. Corey's definitely up there for one of the guys that I respect in this field. Because Corey knows a lot of shit. He's very smart.
This was you talking about earlier. I guess your boy DeSantis says Floridians have a right to hit protesters with cars.
Yeah, they signed that into law a couple years ago because that one person, I think it was up in New York, that got arrested for running over those rioters for hitting their car
Mm-hmm.
because they were surrounded and they were beating the shit out of that car and they ran through the crowd and ran a few of them over trying to get away, and they ended up prosecuting them for that. Florida turned around just like a week or two later and signed legislation saying that if there was a riot going on and they surround your car and you feel threatened because they start beating on your car or something, you can actually run them over, and it's legal because you feel
Well, I
like your
guess
life's threatened.
only the same as shooting somebody if they're trying to get into your house.
Well, the thing is it's like most people's natural reaction is going to want to punch the gas and haul ass. I mean, if you had 30, 20, or even 10 people around your car and they're all beating the windows and shit, especially if you had your kids or something in the car, your family, why would you just want, you're telling me the state's going to tell them that they just need to sit there and take it and hope to God nobody gets killed? No, I don't. That's a little crazy. Because I think if you come out on a major highway like that and you start shit like that, you've done put yourself
Get
in
me a
that
James
position.
Bond cards. Hit him with tear gas.
Oh, dude, there was a car that that some company makes overseas, and it's got all that kind of shit built into it, like
Yeah,
electrified door handles,
they
all
got
kinds
one
of
here
shit.
that does that.
Yeah, until you fuck up and forget forget to turn
It's
it off,
got,
and you go to get in your own
if you
car.
grab the handles, it'll shock it, everything else.
Going out there while it's raining, forget your key, go to grab
Yeah.
onto the door handle, fucking fry yourself.
Woo!
Yeah. There better be some safety features built into that system, I'll tell you that.
You sound like Ric Flair out there. Woo!
Yeah, you will.
Woo!
Oh, fucking Ric Flair.
Oh, man. Starting to feel like Paul. Need me a little nap.
You guys got those nap pods at work?
Yeah, I call it close my door.
Can you lock your door from the inside?
My door always locked from the inside.
Oh,
I always
nice.
have to use a key to get in my office. It stays locked. And that's probably because I keep people's information in the drawers.
Yeah, private, personal info.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's like
He's not
Sarah's
telling you the truth. Just all you rug people the wrong way.
office.
to.
That's the way Sarah's office is at work. Her and another girl at work in there, both are in their own private office,
Mm-hmm.
and their door has to be shut at all times. And I'm not even allowed to go in there. You can't go in there unless you work there.
Yeah.
I used to be able to go in there, but then they bitched because I was hanging out in there with Sarah one day, and I guess got mad and said something. It's like, I don't give a crap about so and so's herpes problem. Shit about that. Whatever fucking medical, like I don't really care. And the medical charts and shit that Sarah deals with, that shit's so confusing. I wouldn't know what the fuck I was reading anyway. I'll tell you what, insurance and referrals and all that shit and billing in the medical field is probably one of the most confusing fucking jobs you'd ever have. I give it to anybody that works in that field. Because there's so much like paperwork and phone calls just to get somebody a referral for a doctor. I mean, it's ridiculous the amount of shit they have to do.
Yeah, my sister
Right.
used to do all the medical testing in the laboratories. Hell,
Yeah, like, because she does referrals, billing, and she does work up at the check-in desk sometimes if they need help. She's kind of an all-around, that's her specialty in the company. She actually was the one that started their referral department. They didn't even have their own referral department. They came over to, they called Sarah up and offered her $5 more an hour to move over to their company from the one she was working for. They said, we'll give you $5 more an hour.
and she should have said, make it 10.
She probably could have negotiated. But the other company, you know what they did to offer her to stay? They said, well, we'll give you a 50-cent raise. I was like, how the hell are you going to counter? A company just offered your employee $5 more an hour, and you come back with a counter of 50 cents. Like, what the fuck, dude? You should have just kept that to yourself.
I say 50 cents with a car allowance.
Yeah.
When my
Company
dad
car.
worked at Side Motor Freight Line, he was their first salesman.
What's up,
They had 2
Donald?
trucks. He was so well known in the business because they were the largest in the Southeast when he retired. He was so well known in the business that about 10 years into it, Red Ball contacted him and said, look, what are you making? He says, I don't want to discuss it. He said, whatever you're making, show us a check and we'll double it. Like that. We want you over here. My dad was very loyal. He was an idiot. Okay.
He's an idiot.
He was very loyal. I'd have moved right then and there. I'd have gone. But what he did, he went in to Vincent and Sire's office and said, look, I'm gonna give you my 2 weeks notice. He said, because I've got an offer from another trucking company. And they said, we don't want you to leave. What's the offer? And he said, they're gonna double my salary. They said, okay, we'll double it. He walked out with double salary, never left.
Well, that's
What do you
good for
do?
a company.
Tell the other company, well, they just doubled my salary. Are you going to
That's
double?
what I'm saying. I'd have went back and said they're gonna match it like that, and they would have probably went up on it because they
I would
wanted
have said
him.
1.5 times my salary.
Now shoot,
You offered me double. Unfortunately, my company's just doubled my salary, so double that is now a lot.
That was back in the 60s, and he was bringing in about 7,000 a month. That's big money back then.
Yeah, I was about to say.
But you know what the problem was? He liked the racetrack.
I mean, $7,000 a month isn't bad now, not by any means. I mean, like I said, your average $15 an hour job is going to pull in what, about 2,200 after taxes? Well, here, a month, roughly. It's about 600 a week.
When I get my pension in 2 months' time, I will be on.
I got my first paycheck today from the school board for the summer.
£200 a month.
Joe, I just sent you a DM.
Yeah, I woke up in the middle of the night last night and had my direct deposit from the school board.
You've been working there all that
That's,
time. Only just got
San
your first
Diego?
wages.
No, they hold back money out of my paycheck, so I have money over the summer.
All right. So you mean you've got your first holiday?
Yeah. I get paid every 2 weeks. I got my first one to last night.
That's pretty cool, Lance. You made that?
No, but I went Am I on mute? Hold on. Am I on mute?
No.
I want one made. I want a light box made that looks like that. And I don't know. Would Thingiverse? Would you search for something like that in Thingiverse? Where would you start?
What do you say? A light box?
Yeah.
Maybe. I'll play with it. I might be able to do it. Yeah, because it's a PNG file, right?
It might be a PNG file. Yeah.
Yeah, I can make it a PNG file.
Yeah.
Lance, you don't have a 3D printer, do you?
I do not.
I'm surprised you haven't gotten into that. All the
Don't
mounts and
do
shit
it.
you've needed. Well, I'm saying like he's always wanting to do like different mounts for his drones and stuff. I'm surprised he hasn't gotten into that. That's one good thing about a 3D printer. Like I always used you as an example, Lance, about how you wanted that specific mount for your Avata, but nobody made that mount you needed. You can never just find the right one. And then what? Dennis made it for you, right?
Yeah, Dennis started,
Yeah.
and then Joe followed up on it, and yeah, yep.
Hell, Joe, Lance, you work for a school, just go to the purchasing people and say, buy me something that works like this.
Thingiverse.
Or better still, buy me a 3D printer, print my own. Yeah.
Oh,
Why you
Bamboo.
I don't pop you.
I was actually looking at Bamboo's site last night. They had the mini for $249.
Yeah, but they got that other one that like I gotta talk to Lloyd. That one Lloyd has. That only thing that's $5.99 for the same basic thing.
Yeah, any whatever it is.
And then Creality, they came out with a printer that's got a AMS system now too. I didn't know that. I haven't really been paying attention to what's been coming out, but I was just scrolling Amazon last night looking at the different printers and the prices and stuff, and they had one on there.
Chain for San Diego State. On Thingiverse.
Actually, I think Lance would have fun with the 3D printer, to be honest.
Hey, Joseph.
How you doing?
Good, bud. How are you?
Good.
Awesome. Glad you came in. I'm gonna have you sign this, okay?
Okay.
How's that? You looking forward to walking?
For on
graduation?
Oh yes.
Yeah, all right.
Yes.
Your
He
voice
ain't
is
gonna
getting-
walk. He's getting an F.
You're turning into a young man now, huh?
Trying to.
Okay.
Trying to.
Lance, like, you looking forward to walking? Yeah. Too bad I failed you.
No kidding. They walk your behind down to the unemployment office.
I'm going.
So you ready to walk? Yes, sir. Great. You're going right to the unemployment office. You didn't pass.
Wearing earphones.
Well, make sure you're in the system.
Hey, congratulations.
Thank
Good
you so
luck
much.
to you.
Thank you.
And keep golfing.
Thank you
Okay.
so much.
We'll see you.
Thank you.
One down. About 3 to go.
Lance, have any of your kids like ever made it like big time in anything?
One of my
That you
favorite
know of?
kids. He's a senior. I had him as a freshman, and he was going to be a handful. I could tell. So I said, I'm going to take you under my wing. I didn't tell him that, but it was like, I'm not going to let you disrupt my class. I'm going to make you the star of my class. So you can't cause a problem. And
Did you sign his yearbook though?
you're the leader now, and you know what I
the hell?
expect. And he took over. It was great. Now he's going to college. He's a good golfer, and his grandfather and I were good friends.
What the hell that came from Amazon? I don't know or anything.
And I didn't know it was his grandfather until I saw him at at a golf tournament when I was shooting golf his freshman year. And I ran into him. I said, "What are you doing here?" "That's my son, that's my grandson." And he's a white guy, and the guy that I just shook his hand is African American. So I don't know if there was an adoption there or what the deal was.
What? Oh, Sarah must have ordered this. Watch bands for a
I'll
watch.
see you
Maybe.
guys later.
All right.
Hey, Dre.
Go ahead and lock that door and take a nap.
Mm-hmm.
Watch me.
So yeah, Joe, I'm looking for a light box.
Yeah, I'm gonna look at it. I might be able to make it.
If you can find an SRT file, let me know.
Oh, this is definitely Sarah.
Somewhere in town.
Fucking gold watch band for
Did I
Apple
turn
Watch.
my volume down? I did. I don't hear you guys. Hold on. Okay, now I turned it back up. Really, I did. I turned you guys back up. I don't hear you.
Testing
Don't
one,
give me
two. Testing 1, 2.
That was like Jeff Dunham and Peanut when they had the deaf people in, and they had a guy that was doing signing, and Peanut started making a noise. Well, he started moving his lips without saying anything, and the signing guys just sat there doing nothing because he can't hear anything. And all the deaf people are saying, "But his lips are moving. What the hell's he saying?"
Mm-hmm. All right.
Don says, been on after 3 hours, you might as well be an 8 to 5 stream.
Yeah, I saw that.
Well, guys, what do you think? Do we call it?
Pack it in? Are you
Pack it
thinking
in?
of packing it in?
Yeah.
What you mean? Should we have a small gap between this morning's and this afternoon's?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
A little bit of a gap. Justin, we'll see you later today, right?
Yep.
Toilet.
Pack it in like a prisoner.
Okay.
Keep looking
Okay.
for me, Joe.
All right, everybody. Joe, Lance, Mark,
Later.
Jonathan.
Let me
Justin.
watch another episode of Reacher.